Chapter 368. Seeing Lin Xian's eagerness to try, the others were stunned. Is this guy crazy? Isn't this a waste of money? Yeah, a half-step harmonious spirit kid. It's already very scary if he can hit 5 stars. Everyone discussed. They didn't think that Lin Xian could hit 6 stars. Jiang Feng saw Lin Xian's action and became even angrier. Get out of my way! What's a piece of trash like you doing? Lin Xian's face darkened. He looked at Jiang Feng coldly. It's not certain who's the trash. I advise you not to bite people like a mad dog. Kid, you're looking for death. How dare you talk to me like that? I'll kill you right now. Jiang Feng was furious. A half-step harmonious spirit kid dared to talk to him like that. Kneel down and apologize, or I'll make sure you die a horrible death. Jiang Feng released a powerful aura towards Lin Xian. What do you want? You'll have to ask me first if you dare to bully little brother Lin. Dong Fanxiong stood out. His tall body and fierce eyes made him look like a peerless beast that had appeared in the human world. Everyone thought of the scene when he hit 6 stars and felt an indescribable pressure. How is this a human? This is a beast in human form. Jiang Feng's face darkened. To be honest, he didn't have the confidence to deal with this big guy. Humph! Let's see what a piece of trash like you can do! Jiang Feng sneered. Lin Xian's face darkened slightly. This fellow had provoked him time and time again, causing a killing intent to well up in his heart. But he still managed to control his killing intent. Now that he was in a foreign country, he didn't dare to be careless, and this Jiang family seemed to be related to the person he was looking for. So Lin Xian didn't make a move. But if there was a chance, he wouldn't let Jiang Feng go. Thinking of this, he calmed down and quickly walked to the strength testing stone. This time, he planned to use his real strength. The art of longevity in his body began to circulate, forming a powerful force. Silver lightning appeared on his body, making a crackling sound. The next moment, the surface of his body was covered with mysterious silver lightning runes, as if the god of thunder had descended. Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. They felt an astonishing pressure from Lin Xian. Could it be that this fellow didn't use his full strength just now? The crowd found it hard to imagine. The white-robed youth was also surprised. He looked at Lin Xian with a serious expression, his eyes shining with a dazzling light. At the side, Jiang Feng's face became even darker. Lin Xian's aura made him feel extremely uneasy. Damn it! Who the hell is this kid? How could he have such a martial skill? Only Dong Fanxiong grinned foolishly. He had been with Lin Xian for more than a month, so he naturally knew his strength. Lin Xian's physical strength wasn't any weaker than his. Furthermore, Dong Fanxiong knew that Lin Xian was also a swordsman. A swordsman's most powerful ability was, of course, his sword. I thought I was strong enough. I didn't expect there to be someone even stronger. Silver lightning crackled around Lin Xian's body, carrying an extremely dangerous aura. As he walked, he let out a thunderous sound. Clenching his right fist, Lin Xian took a step forward. His body slightly arched like a ferocious cheetah, ready to attack at any time. Boom! Lightning flashed as the silver fist landed on the strength testing stone, letting out an explosive sound. Silver lightning surged, turning the surroundings into a sea of lightning. Occasionally, lightning leaked out, causing cracks to appear on the hard ground. After a while, the silver light dissipated, revealing a black strength testing stone. The crowd looked at the strength testing stone with anticipation. On the black strength testing stone, the first 5 stars quickly lit up, and the 5th star instantly turned purplish black. Buzz! Immediately after, the 6 stars on the stone suddenly lit up, emitting a dazzling light. It's here! The 6th star really appeared! Freak, too freakish! Everyone cried out in alarm, their expressions stupefied. Hee hee, Brother Lin, good job! Dong Fanxiong grinned. This guy is definitely not simple. The white-robed young man's expression changed slightly. For the first time, he looked at Lin Xian seriously. Half-step harmonious spirit cultivation, but his strength is frightening. That strike just now definitely exceeded 100,000 Jin. The white-robed young man's expression turned serious. When did such a young expert appear in Green Mountain City? Impossible, this guy can't hit 6 stars. Jiang Feng's expression was very ugly, as if he had eaten a dead fly. Too embarrassing. Someone who was weak, someone whom he viewed as trash, was actually able to hit out 6 stars. He tried twice, but he could only hit 5 stars. This result was too ironic. This was simply slapping his face. Not only did he lose face, but the Jiang family also lost face. Brat, what kind of shameful method did you use? If you know what's good for you, quickly say it. Otherwise, I'll kill you today. Jiang Feng tried his best to distort the truth. Yes, you must have used some shameful method. Little bastard, you're really shameless. The 2 Jiang family disciples beside him also shouted coldly. Shameful method? Lin Xian sneered. The 3 of you are really disappointing. It's fine if you don't have the strength. It's not shameful, but not admitting defeat and distorting the truth. This is shameful. It's really disappointing that the Jiang family has disciples like you. Lin Xian's words were sharp and merciless. What did you say? The 2 Jiang family disciples were angry. Do you believe that I won't cripple you right now? You can try. Lin Xian took a step forward. The silver lightning on his body turned into a silver dragon and swooped down. Boom! The 2 Jiang family disciples were frightened by this powerful force and sat on the ground. Their faces were as pale as paper. Good, good! The crowd cheered in a low voice. They had long disliked these 3 people, but because of the Jiang family's status, they didn't dare to do anything. However, Lin Xian's fierce counterattack made these people very happy. You dare to make a move against a Jiang family disciple? Jiang Feng was furious. His robe fluttered and was filled with terrifying spiritual energy. Don't think that being able to hit out 6 stars is something amazing. You only have great strength, but your cultivation is too weak. I can use my spiritual pressure to crush you to death. Now I will give you a chance to live. Jiang Feng said arrogantly. Kneel down and break your arms, then I will spare your life. Jiang Feng had a high and mighty look. He didn't put Lin Xian in his eyes at all. Everyone was silent. Jiang Feng was indeed the same as the rumors. Not only was he arrogant, but he was also cruel. Being able to hit out 6 stars is nothing amazing. If we really fight, I can destroy you with one hand. Jiang Feng had unlimited confidence. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes and said, It is indeed nothing amazing. But you can't even hit out 6 stars. Aren't you too useless? I don't know. What qualifications do you have to be so arrogant? I am a Jiang family disciple. That is enough. Jiang Feng's voice was as cold as a blade. Offending me will only result in death. Jiang family? Lin Xian laughed. In the end, you are just a useless trash that relies on your family. Once you leave your family, you are nothing. What a sharp-tongued brat. But no matter what you say today, you will not be able to escape death. Jiang Feng's face was malevolent like an injured beast. This was the pain in his heart. Now, it was mercilessly exposed by Lin Xian. A cold aura enveloped the surroundings. A terrifying blue fist image formed behind him. Coordinating with the surrounding spiritual energy, it blasted towards Lin Xian. Chapter 369. Jiang Feng was very powerful. A blue fist shadow formed behind him and blasted towards Lin Xian with a violent aura. Lin Xian didn't dodge. He just stood there quietly. Why aren't you dodging? Everyone was stunned and couldn't help but worry for him. Could it be that he intends to take it head-on? The young man in white guessed. Humph, he must have been scared silly. The 2 disciples of the Jiang family sneered. If you don't dodge, then die. A ferocious look appeared in Jiang Feng's eyes, and he channeled his spiritual power even more vigorously. He wanted to turn Lin Xian into mincemeat with a single punch. Seeing the blue fist getting closer and closer, a mysterious rune suddenly appeared in Lin Xian's eyes. What followed was a powerful soul force. After Lin Xian became a grade 3 inscription master, he once again used his eye technique to attack. 1. An invisible energy wave quickly passed through the fist shadows and acted on Jiang Feng's body. Puff! Jiang Feng's body trembled, and the speed of his attack slowed down. The huge blue fist in the sky also quickly disappeared. This scene caused everyone to be stunned. Jiang Feng's face contorted as if he was in great pain. The blue spirit power in his body rumbled, and in the next moment, he actually broke through Lin Xian's pupil technique. Unorthodox sect, die! Jiang Feng pounced like a wild beast. Eh? Lin Xian was surprised. His soul force was very strong. Ordinary harmonious spirit realm warriors were no match for him in terms of soul force. But this Jiang Feng was actually able to break through his eye technique attack, which really surprised him. As expected of the Dragon Star Empire, the strength of their martial artists is indeed formidable. Lin Xian once again experienced the strength of this country's martial artists, which was far beyond that of the Heavenly Mountain Empire. However, Lin Xian had more than one method. The inscriptions in his eyes changed rapidly, forming 3 flower patterns. An even more powerful illusion attack rushed towards Jiang Feng. Ah! With a blood-curdling scream, Jiang Feng finally couldn't hold on any longer, and his body collapsed. Like a puppet, he stood there with a pained expression on his face. Brother Feng! Brother Feng! 2 of the Jiang family's disciples stepped forward and shouted crazily. Puff! Jiang Feng seemed to have suffered a heavy blow. He spat out a mouthful of blood and collapsed. What did you do to Brother Feng? The 2 disciples screamed. Everyone was horrified, as if they had seen a ghost. They only saw Lin Xian glare at Jiang Feng, who stood there motionless. Then they saw Jiang Feng coughing up blood. What kind of attack is that? Isn't it too strange? Everyone was puzzled. Could it be a soul attack? Someone was puzzled. That's right, it was indeed a soul attack. I didn't expect that brat's soul force to be so powerful. An expert recognized. The Dragon Star Strong country was truly extraordinary. In just an instant, there were martial artists who recognized the soul attack. You're dead for injuring a disciple of the Jiang clan. That's right, no one can save you if you offend the Jiang family. The 2 disciples of the Jiang family shouted crazily. Lin Xian's expression was grave and stern. His gaze was like 2 sharp swords that pierced into their hearts. Their bodies stiffened and trembled uncontrollably. They sat on the ground like dead dogs, cold sweat flowing down their bodies like rivers. Jiang Feng glared hatefully at Lin Xian. Although he wanted to attack, he didn't have an ounce of strength. Although he only paused for a moment in the outside world, in the spiritual world, he suffered a long period of cruel torture. With a sneer, Lin Xian turned and was about to leave. Dong Fangxiong and Situ quickly followed behind him. Wait a moment, you 2 little brothers, wait a moment! At this moment, the short old man who had been silent all this time suddenly called out. Old man, we've already given you the spirit stones. Dong Fangxiong scratched his head and said, Why are you looking for us? Hee, it's not about money. The old man stroked his goatee and smiled evilly. This strength-testing stone was obtained from a sect with much difficulty. At that time, this old man promised them that I would definitely send them a few youths who could reach 6-star. You 2 are just right. Everyone rolled their eyes. No matter how they looked at it, they felt that this little old man was a swindler. That won't do. Dong Fangxiong scratched his head and said, I'm going to join the Dragon Elephant sect. What? Dragon Elephant sect? Everyone was shocked. Their mouths were wide open as if they could swallow an egg. The white-clothed youth's expression was serious. Then, he used a serious gaze to size up Dong Fangxiong. The 3 Jiang family disciples sitting on the ground trembled. It was as if the 3 words Dragon Elephant sect had endless magic. The old man with the goatee's eyes flashed. Then, he looked at Dong Fangxiong with interest. It was no wonder that these people were surprised. The Dragon Elephant sect was one of the 6 major powers of the Dragon Elephant Strong country. It was a peak power above everyone else. Lin Xian was also stunned. He didn't expect that the seemingly simple and honest youth beside him was aiming for a peak sect. The old man with the goatee squinted his eyes. Young man, don't worry. My sect is definitely not inferior to the Dragon Elephant sect. Everyone was stunned. Not inferior to the Dragon Elephant sect? In the Dragon Elephant Strong Country, the only sect on the same level as the Dragon Elephant sect was the Great Flag sect. However, the Great Flag sect didn't focus on powerful physical techniques. This old man is obviously an old swindler. Everyone shook their heads. Really? I can think about it. Dong Fangxiong scratched his head and said, How about this? After you go with me, I guarantee that you will enter the inner sect within 3 months. The old man with the goatee smiled. How about it? This is a green path specially opened for you. Okay, I promise you. Dong Fangxiong nodded his head. Everyone was stunned. This is also possible? AI, such a good martial arts genius, was actually cheated away by an old swindler. Lin Xian was not too worried. Although Dong Fangxiong looked simple and honest, he had never suffered a loss before. He was definitely a wise youth. The old man with the goatee was overjoyed. He once again turned his head to look at Lin Xian. Young man, what about you? Lin Xian rubbed his nose. Many thanks for old man's good intentions. However, I cannot join your sect. Oh, why is that? The old man with the goatee asked. This time, I came to the Dragon Star Strong Country to find a person. Furthermore, my martial arts are not in the aspect of body refinement. Not in body refinement? Everyone was stunned. You already hit out 6 stars and you still say that you don't specialize in body refinement. This brat wouldn't die trying to act cool, right? There is a possibility. Perhaps it is to attract the old man's attention. The short old man had a face of astonishment. However, when he recalled that Lin Xian had used his soul eye technique, he understood. Forget it. This brat might be a soul cultivator. He shook his head. Furthermore, his body refinement technique seems to be very special. Alright, since it is like this, I will not force you. Finishing, the short old man looked at Dong Fangxiong. You can leave with me. Hee, little brother Lin, let's meet again if fate allows. Dong Fangxiong waved towards Lin Xian and Situ Jing before leaving with the short old man. Big brother Dong Fang, what about your reward? Situ Jing asked loudly. I don't want it anymore. Dong Fangxiong laughed. Let's go. Lin Xian pulled Situ Jing and prepared to leave. Looking at Lin Xian's back, Jiang Feng and the other two revealed a sinister gaze. Chapter 370. Brother Feng, what should we do? Are we just going to watch that brat leave? The 2 Jiang family disciples said angrily. We're injured now, so we shouldn't act rashly. Let that brat be proud for a while. When we recover, it'll be his time to die. Let's go, you two help me up. Jiang Feng gritted his teeth and said. The 2 Jiang family disciples supported Jiang Feng and walked towards the Jiang residence shakily. Lin Xian and Situ Jing left the strength testing stone stall and returned to the Jiang residence. At this moment, Situ Tao had already handed over the goods and received a generous reward. When he saw Lin Xian return, a smile appeared on his sallow face. Brother Lin, you're finally back. This is your reward, Situ Tao said happily. Where's Brother Dongfang? He's not here. Brother Dongfang left. He even said he didn't want the reward, Situ Jing said. After that, Lin Xian briefly explained the situation to Situ Tao, and Situ Tao quickly understood. Forget it, it seems like Brother Dongfang has a great opportunity. We can only wish him well, Situ Tao said. Brother Lin, what do you plan to do next? Me? Lin Xian pondered for a moment, then said in a deep voice. I want to meet the Jiang family's elder. Jiang family's elder? Situ Tao was stunned for a moment. Brother Lin, are you in trouble? To be honest, I'm here to find someone. This person might have a lot to do with the Jiang family, Lin Xian explained. Alright, I've been handing over goods with Elder Jiang Song all year round, so I'm quite familiar with him. How about this? I'll bring you to see him tomorrow. Uncle Situ, why don't you bring me there now? Alright, follow me. Situ Tao saw that Lin Xian was a little anxious, so he didn't dare to delay. The two of them walked towards Elder Jiang Song's residence. On the other hand, when Jiang Feng and the other two returned to the Jiang residence with injuries, they immediately alarmed the entire Jiang residence. The disciple in charge of guarding the door was even more shocked as he rushed forward. Brother Jiang Feng, what happened? Who beat you up like this? Rebellion, this is rebellion! How dare someone hit a disciple of the Jiang family? Brother Feng, where is he? I'll go kill him! Jiang Feng waved his hand weakly. That kid ran away a long time ago. Help me back to recuperate. Everyone did not dare to be negligent and hurriedly helped Jiang Feng's group of three inside. In one of the Jiang Manor's courtyards, Elder Jiang Song looked at Lin Xian with a slight frown. Situ Tao, why did you bring a child here? Elder Jiang, I have some questions to ask, Lin Xian said slowly. Oh, you're asking me? What's the matter? A trace of surprise appeared on Elder Jiang Song's face. He had never met Lin Xian, let alone had any interactions with Lin Xian, so he was very curious about what Lin Xian wanted to ask. Elder, may I ask if there is a person called Jiang San Feng in the Jiang estate? Lin Xian asked with a glimmer of hope. Jiang San Feng. Elder Jiang Song's expression was strange. Why are you asking this? Seeing the vigilance in Elder Jiang Song's eyes, Lin Xian smiled. Elder, please don't worry. I'm only here to look for this person under the orders of my elders. Seeing that Lin Xian did not seem to be lying, Elder Jiang Song nodded slightly. There is indeed a person called Jiang San Feng in the Jiang estate, but I wonder which one you are looking for? Which one? Lin Xian was stunned. There were actually many people called Jiang San Feng. He did not expect this situation. After thinking for a moment, he said in a deep voice. The person I'm looking for is at least middle-aged. According to Old Man DK, this person was saved by him a few decades ago. Now, this person was at least 50 years old, which was why Lin Xian said this. Middle-aged? Jiang Song raised his teacup. There is indeed an elder called Jiang San Feng in the Jiang estate. Elder, can you introduce me to him? Lin Xian felt a glimmer of hope in his heart. Elder Jiang San Feng is the elder of the Martial Skills Pavilion in the estate. He has a high position and is not someone you can meet. Elder Jiang Song refused flatly. Moreover, Elder Jiang San Feng has not left the Martial Skills Pavilion for many years. He can't be the person you are looking for. Lin Xian's face darkened. The elder of the Martial Skills Pavilion had a high position. It seemed that this person was very likely to be the person he was looking for. However, an elder with such a high position would not meet an unknown young man like him. Take this time as an example. If it was not for Situ Tao's recommendation, he would not have met Elder Jiang Song. All right, you can leave now. The Jiang clan is approaching and the estate is very busy. Don't come again. Otherwise, don't blame me for being rude. Elder Jiang Song said in a deep voice. Brother Lin, let's go. Don't disturb Elder Jiang Song. Situ Tao said softly. All right. Lin Xian sighed. He had no other choice but to leave temporarily. However, when he turned around, he heard Elder Jiang Song's whisper. Sigh, there's not much time left. Iha still hasn't broken through. Break through? Lin Xian's eyes turned. He remembered Elder Jiang Song talking about the clan meeting. If he guessed correctly, the clan meeting of such a large clan would definitely have a competition between the younger generation. The Jiang clan in Qingshan City was probably just a small branch. Elder Jiang Song must be worried about the cultivation of the younger generation. Seems like there's a way. Lin Xian's lips curled into a smile. He stopped in his tracks and suddenly turned around to look at Elder Jiang Song with a smile. Hey, why aren't you leaving? Elder Jiang Song's face darkened as he asked sternly. I heard that Elder seemed to be worried about the cultivation of the Jiang clan disciples. Is that true? Lin Xian asked. How dare you eavesdrop? Elder Jiang Song's eyes flashed coldly. His anger scared Situ Tao so much that he almost fell. Elder, please calm down. I didn't mean to eavesdrop. I just wanted to share some of Elder's worries. Worries? Do you have a way? If you want to increase your cultivation in a short period of time, I might have a way. Lin Xian's face was calm and confident. You! Elder Jiang Song revealed a suspicious look. Young man, let me give you a piece of advice. Don't boast. The Jiang clan isn't a place where you can behave atrociously. Elder Jiang Song's tone carried a trace of coldness. If Lin Xian wasn't brought here by Situ Tao, he would have already kicked Lin Xian out. It was no wonder that Elder Jiang Song didn't believe him. Lin Xian was indeed too young. No matter how he looked at him, he looked like someone from a small country. How could this kind of person have a way? Seeing Elder Jiang Song's suspicion, Lin Xian smiled. He didn't expect Elder Jiang Song to believe him so easily. However, he had plenty of ways. 3 Lines Void Spirit Pill. It can allow a harmonious spirit realm martial artist to increase a small realm. I wonder if Elder Jiang Song has heard of it? What? Hearing Lin Xian's words, Elder Jiang Song's arm trembled. The teacup in his hand suddenly shook and the spirit tea inside spilled out. Chapter 371. You know of the 3-pattern void spirit pill? Elder Jiang Song asked with a trembling voice. He looked like a completely different person from before. He no longer had the cold and stern look from before. Of course. Lin Xian gave a mysterious smile. All right, Situ Tao. You may leave first. I have something to discuss with young hero Lin, Elder Jiang Song said in a deep voice after calming himself down. After sending Situ Tao away, Elder Jiang Song looked at Lin Xian. All right, there's no one here. Tell me honestly, how do you know of the 3-pattern void spirit pill? Jiang Song asked. Not only have I heard of the 3-pattern void spirit pill, but I also know how to refine it, Lin Xian said with a smile. You know how to refine it? Elder Jiang Song was even more surprised. His eyes flickered as he stared at Lin Xian and sighed. Young man, don't speak too loudly. Otherwise, it won't be easy to clean up the mess. How would I dare lie in front of an elder? Lin Xian said seriously. It looks like if I don't teach you a lesson, you will really think that the Jiang family is easy to deceive. Elder Jiang Song's expression suddenly sank as he said in a deep voice. I saw this 3-pattern void spirit pill in an ancient book. Not only is it difficult to refine, but the pill formula is also said to have been lost. How can a young man like you refine such a precious pill? Naturally, it was taught to me by my master. The corners of Lin Xian's mouth curled up. He once again used his mysterious and powerful master to intimidate the other party. Master? Elder Jiang Song still didn't believe him. Xiao Xuanzi, do as I say. I guarantee that this old man will be convinced, Lord Alcohol said with a voice transmission. Lin Xian nodded slightly before looking at Elder Jiang Song and slowly saying, Elder, is there an intense evil fire in your body? Furthermore, your spirit energy is often misaligned, preventing you from calming down. How do you know? Elder Jiang Song was astonished. I can tell from Elder's face that these kids are overworking themselves. They're just too anxious. Furthermore, Elder's pursuit of martial arts is a little impatient. As a result, there's an evil fire in his body, preventing his spirit energy from circulating smoothly. Elder Jiang Feng was shocked. What Lin Xian said was basically the same as the truth. Now, he was 70 to 80% sure that Lin Xian wouldn't have known about this if he didn't have a powerful ability. Seeing the change in Elder Jiang Song, Lin Xian smiled again. Actually, this symptom is very easy to treat. As long as Elder can relax and take the revitalization pill that I have refined, I guarantee that you will recover completely within 3 days. Really? Elder Jiang Song's face was filled with joy. The recent matters needed him too much. He couldn't let anything happen to his body at this time. I wouldn't dare to deceive an elder, Lin Xian said. Then, what about the matter of the 3-mark spirit void pill? Elder Jiang Song asked again. Of course it's true. I can concoct a 3-mark void spirit pill for the Jiang residents. However, Elder, please refer me to Senior Jiang San Feng. All right, as long as you can refine the 3-mark spirit void pill, I will definitely recommend you. Elder Jiang Song patted his chest and promised. This pill was too important to the Jiang residents. It might be able to turn the situation around in the family meeting. Refining the 3-mark fish spirit void pill requires some precious spiritual herbs. I wonder how long until the Jiang family meeting? There's still a month. Is there enough time? Elder Jiang Song was nervous. Almost. As long as the medicinal herbs are gathered, I will only need 2 or 3 days to refine it. Next, Lin Xian took out a pen and paper and began to list the required medicinal herbs. Soon, he handed the paper over. These are the medicinal herbs that the spiritual apothecary needs to refine the 3-mark spirit void pill. Senior, please hurry up. The following medicinal herbs are to help you get rid of the evil fire in your body. The required medicinal herbs are still here, Lin Xian said. Elder Jiang Song skimmed through it, and found that the 3-mark spirit void pill was indeed some precious medicinal herbs. He had been in charge of the family business for many years and had some understanding of medicinal herbs. Therefore, he could roughly see that Lin Xian's medicinal herbs were not written casually but contained a certain pharmacology. Young hero Lin, don't worry. I will arrange for people to gather them quickly. Please stay in the Jiang residence for a few days. Good. I will wait for the medicinal herbs to arrive. After that, Lin Xian left. When he returned to his residence, the father and son, Situ Tao and Situ Jing, had already left. They were here to deliver the goods, so naturally, they could stay in the Jiang residence for a long time. After resting for a short while, a servant came over and led Lin Xian to a quiet and secluded courtyard. In the following days, Lin Xian stayed in the Jiang residence with peace of mind. During this time, he concentrated on studying martial arts and waited patiently. Half a month later, a servant dressed in a green robe and a small hat came to pass a message, inviting Lin Xian to meet Elder Jiang Song. It's ready so quickly. It seems like the Jiang residence has some tricks up their sleeves, Lin Xian exclaimed in his heart. Then, a trace of joy appeared on his face. He had filled in the number of spiritual herbs for 3 batches. Firstly, it was to ensure the success rate. Secondly, he needed one for himself to break through to the harmonious spirit realm. With this 3 lines void spirit pill, he could shorten the time needed to break through by a few months. This way, he could have more time to comprehend the martial arts concept. After tidying up his clothes, Lin Xian followed the servant with a smile. The huge Jiang residence was like a maze. Lin Xian walked along the long corridor, constantly looking around. Pavilions, terraces, mountains, and waterfalls were all arranged in picturesque disorder. It was pleasing to the eye. It's you! Suddenly, a surprised voice came, followed by a furious shout. His voice was laced with deep hatred. Lin Xian turned his head and saw 2 well-dressed disciples standing not far from him. Their faces were ferocious. These 2 people were the 2 young men who had followed Jiang Feng back then. Brat, you dared to come to the Jiang residence and behave atrociously. You must be tired of waiting. Humph, this time, even the gods won't be able to save you. The 2 laughed sinisterly. Go and inform Brother Feng. This time, we must kill him. Beside them, the servant in green clothes and a small hat wanted to explain, but the young man left in a hurry. The remaining one stared at Lin Xian with a sneer. To be honest, killing you in the Jiang residence is as easy as killing an ant. Lin Xian smiled and didn't say anything. His identity was different now, so he wasn't afraid of these disciples. However, the servant in green clothes beside him was nervous. He anxiously said, Young hero Lin is bullshit. Young hero Lin. Shut up, you have no right to speak here. The young man emitted a terrifying aura. The servant in green clothes didn't dare to speak. The one who spoke was called Jiang Dong. He had killed a few servants in the past. Where is that little bastard? A loud shout came. Then, a purple figure landed on the ground like lightning. It was Jiang Feng. Other than him, there were 4 or 5 disciples of the Jiang family following behind him. Suddenly, the entire corridor was completely surrounded. This grand scene immediately attracted the attention of the people nearby. There were servants, maids, and other disciples of the Jiang family. "Little bastard, it's really you!" Jiang Feng looked at Lin Xian with flames of hatred in his eyes. Chapter 372. "Who are you calling, little bastard?" Lin Xian said with a smile. "The little bastard is calling you," Jiang Feng said through gritted teeth. As soon as he said that, the nearby disciples who were watching the show burst into laughter. The servants were also trying their best to hold back their laughter. Jiang Feng instantly understood the meaning of this sentence. His face darkened and became ferocious. "Kid, you still dare to play tricks when you're at death's door? I'll cut off your tongue and chop it into 18 pieces. I'm warning you, I'm now an honored guest of the Jiang mansion. You'd better not provoke me, or you won't be able to bear the consequences," Lin Xian said slowly. "Honored guest?" Jiang Feng sneered. "How can a country bumpkin like you be an honored guest? You're even worse than a servant in the mansion. That's right, I think you must have lied to the Jiang family. Today, I'll execute you on the spot to prevent you from lying to others in the future." The nearby Jiang family disciples also sneered. In their opinion, how could a country bumpkin like Lin Xian have any connection with the Jiang family? Seeing the expressions of the Jiang family disciples, the servant in green was about to cry. Before they came here, Elder Jiang Song had repeatedly instructed them to serve Lin Xian well. From his words, it could be seen that Lin Xian was definitely an honored guest, or at least an honored guest of Elder Jiang Song. If something were to happen to Lin Xian, he would definitely be the one to suffer. The servant in green rolled his eyes. He could sneak away when no one was paying attention. Everyone present had their eyes on Lin Xian, and no one paid attention to the servant. "Kid, I'll break your limbs first, cripple your martial arts, and let you live like a dog." Jiang Feng condensed a terrifying aura and walked forward step by step. The surrounding disciples also drew their shiny weapons and rushed toward Lin Xian. Lin Xian's soul was powerful. He had already sensed a powerful aura coming, so he was not afraid at all. Sure enough, just as Jiang Feng and the others drew their weapons, an angry roar was heard. "Stop!" This voice was like a clap of thunder that exploded above the long corridor, causing the surrounding disciples' eardrums to tremble and their bodies to tremble. Apart from Lin Xian, everyone else channeled their spiritual energy to resist the impact of the sound waves. When they successfully resisted the sound waves and looked ahead, their expressions changed drastically. In the long corridor, an old figure had appeared out of nowhere, exuding a frightening aura. "Elder Jiang Song!" Everyone was surprised. They couldn't figure out why Elder Jiang Song would come here. "Elder, you've come at the right time. This brat has deceived the Jiang family time and time again, and even injured the foundation of the Jiang family. Today, we must tear him into pieces. Yes, we must kill him." All of them were brought here by Jiang Feng. At this moment, they were all glaring at Lin Xian. "A bunch of trash. You don't practice martial arts properly, and only know how to bully others. Now, hurry up and scram!" Elder Jiang Song shouted coldly. "What?" Everyone was stunned, seemingly not expecting Elder Jiang Song to berate them. They were the disciples of the Jiang family. Lin Xian was the outsider who had offended them. "Why? Elder, were you deceived by this brat's words? He's a liar. Don't believe his words." Jiang Feng and the rest shouted frantically. "What else do you want to say? Do I need you to teach me my business?" Elder Jiang Song's face darkened as he looked coldly at Jiang Feng and the rest. These disciples were too abominable. It was fine if they were outside, but now they dared to touch his guest. If they hurt Lin Xian, he was afraid that his 3-mark spirit void elixir would be ruined. A powerful aura pervaded the air like a huge mountain, making it difficult for everyone to breathe. "If it weren't for the fact that the family meeting is about to begin, I wouldn't have let you off so easily." Now, hurry up and scram! The group was afraid and all of them left with their tails between their legs. Jiang Feng's body trembled, and his eyes were filled with unwillingness. He glared fiercely at Lin Xian, but in the end, he could only clench his teeth and retreat. He knew that if he angered the elder at this juncture, the consequences would be severe. I don't know what he said to make the elder believe him so much. Jiang Feng clenched his fists, his heart going crazy. Seeing that everyone had left, Elder Jiang Song smiled and said, Young Hero Lin, please don't take offense. These disciples have been spoiled. It's fine. Lin Xian smiled. He naturally wouldn't lower himself to the same level as these people. If he really wanted to fight, he was confident that he could get rid of these people within 3 moves. Are the herbs ready? Lin Xian asked. Yes. Young Hero Lin, please follow me. Under Elder Jiang Tao's lead, Lin Xian came to a magnificent hall. Looking at the table full of herbs, Lin Xian narrowed his eyes and smiled with satisfaction. Young Hero Lin, take a look and see if these herbs are enough? Elder Jiang Tao asked. Looking around, Lin Xian immediately had an answer. As expected of the Jiang manor, to be able to gather so many precious herbs in such a short time. He. Hearing Lin Xian's answer, Elder Jiang Tao laughed. Then when can young Hero Lin start? Recently, I feel that the circulation of my spiritual energy is becoming more and more difficult. I can start now, Lin Xian said. Elder, don't worry. I will help you refine the clear pill first. In fact, Lin Xian had planned to refine the clear pill from the beginning. After all, the herbs needed for the 3-mark Spirit Void pill were extremely precious. Before he showed his strength, Elder Jiang Tao probably wouldn't let him refine it easily. This could be seen from the order of the herbs on the table. The herbs for the clear pill were placed at the front, and the herbs for the 3-mark Spirit Void pill were placed in the corner. Hearing Lin Xian's answer, Elder Jiang Tao nodded with satisfaction. Good. Young Hero Lin, please wait a moment. I will prepare a good alchemy room for you. While Elder Jiang Tao was preparing these things, Jiang Feng and the others found another handsome youth. Cousin, you have to uphold justice for me, Jiang Feng cried. The young man was sitting cross-legged on the bed. When he heard Jiang Feng's cries, he opened his eyes. His sharp gaze pierced through the void like a sword and a saber. What's the matter? Why are you in such a hurry? The young man's tone was cold. Thus, Jiang Feng told him everything about Lin Xian. In the process, he had even exaggerated and painted Lin Feng as a heinous villain. Cousin, I don't know what method Lin Xian used to bewitch Elder Jiang Tao. I'm afraid that he will do something harmful to the Jiang clan. You have to stop him. Jiang Feng's cousin, the cold young man, was called Jiang Jian. His status was much higher than Jiang Feng's. Moreover, his grandfather was an elder of the Jiang clan. Don't worry. No one can behave atrociously in Jiangsu, and no one can bewitch the Jiang clan's elder, Jiang Jian said coldly. In the main hall of the Jiang clan, Lin Xian was sitting on a red chair. He was drinking high-quality spiritual tea as he waited quietly. Suddenly, a few silhouettes appeared at the entrance of the main hall. They walked with an imposing manner. It was obvious that they were here to cause trouble. Chapter 373. I heard that Elder Jiang Tao has invited an alchemist. I'd like to meet him. A loud voice came from outside. Hearing this, Lin Xian frowned slightly and turned to look. There were 3 middle-aged men standing at the door. The one in front had a fat head and big ears. The other 2 were middle-aged men in alchemy robes with dark eyes. Alchemist? Lin Xian narrowed his eyes when he felt their soul fluctuations. The fat middle-aged man swaggered in. After calling out to Jiang Song, he stared at Lin Xian. You're the alchemist that Jiang Song invited? The fat middle-aged man asked suspiciously. The corners of Lin Xian's mouth curled up slightly as he nodded. He looks rather young. Has old man Jiang Song been blinded by lard? Why did he find such a kid? Do I need you to teach me who I find? Elder Jiang Tao's voice came with a hint of anger. Elder Jiang Song, I don't want to criticize you, but this kid is too young. He doesn't look reliable. The fat middle-aged man's body shook. Yes, Elder Jiang Song. An alchemist not only needs a strong soul power, but experience is more important. This kid looks like he's only 17 or 18 years old. How many years can he have practiced alchemy? The person who spoke was a middle-aged man with a long face. His name was Gao Qing, and he was also an alchemist. Not only that, but he was also a guest elder of the Jiang residence. He usually refined some alchemy for the Jiang residence. The middle-aged fatty swept his gaze across the table. When he saw the herbs on the table, his eyes were like eggs. They instantly widened to the size of a ball. 6th grade spiritual herbs. Several of them. Elder Jiang Song, are you crazy? The fat middle-aged man screamed. The two middle-aged men behind him were also surprised. 6 bottles of spiritual herbs were expensive and rare. What's more, they even found 3 7th-ranked spiritual medicines. Grade 7 spirit herbs were extremely rare and precious medicinal herbs. Even the two of them had never personally refined one before. Elder Jiang Song, I advise you to reconsider. If you waste 3 7th-grade spiritual herbs, it will be a great loss to the Jiang residence. That's right, Elder Jiang Song. What kind of pill do you want to refine? You can leave it to us. Another famous alchemist, Sun Di, said. You guys? Lin Xian smiled. Do you guys know how to concoct pills that can increase a harmonious spirit realm warrior's level? In fact, he had been suppressing his anger for a long time. These 3 people had mocked and ridiculed him as soon as they arrived, completely disregarding him. He was obviously here to pick a fight. Therefore, Lin Xian did not hold back in his words. A pill that can increase the level of a harmonious spirit realm cultivator? The 3 of them gasped. The middle-aged fatty looked surprised, but the 2 alchemists behind him were shocked. Both of them were 3rd-grade alchemists, so they naturally knew how precious a pill that could help a harmonious spirit realm cultivator was. This kind of pill recipe was not something that an ordinary Tier 3 alchemist like them could master. However, to say that Lin Xian could master this kind of pill formula, even if they were beaten to death, they wouldn't believe it. Brat, we don't even know how to concoct this kind of medicinal pill, and you dare to boast like this? That's right, we've been concocting pills for dozens of years, but we still haven't mastered this kind of pill formula. How could a brat like you master this kind of thing? Elder Jiang Song, don't be fooled by him. I think this brat is here to cheat us of our elixirs. The middle-aged fatty snorted. Truly a group of frogs at the bottom of a well. Lin Xian smiled coldly. What did you say? The 2 alchemists were furious. The middle-aged fatty's face was also gloomy, and his eyes were cold. Brat, do you know who you're talking to? The middle-aged fatty said eerily. That's right, the 2 of us have concocted more pills than the amount of salt you've eaten. What qualifications do you have to talk to us here? After concocting pills for dozens of years, you're only a 3rd-grade alchemist. If I were you, I would have killed myself already, Lin Xian disdainfully said. Looking at your soul waves, you're only at the level of an ordinary 3rd-grade alchemist. Is this the result of your decades of cultivation? You're as stupid as a pig. What did you say? The 2 alchemists were enraged. They were of noble status. Usually, anyone who saw them would respectfully call them grandmasters. However, Lin Xian actually dared to look down on them at this moment. A strong killing intent arose in their hearts. Elder Jiang Song, if you insist on doing things your own way, I'll report this matter to the clan head. The middle-aged fatty said coldly. Jiang Ke, don't go too far. Elder Jiang Song snorted coldly. What do you want? I can make this brat concoct pills, the middle-aged fatty said with a smile. However, he has to compete with the 2 elders behind me first. If he can win, let him concoct pills. If he can't, then he'll be deceiving the Jiang clan. Not only will he be crippled of his martial arts, but he'll also have his limbs chopped off. This method was too vicious. It was even crueler than killing someone. Lin Xian had no enmity with them, but they actually used such a vicious method. Elder Jiang Song was furious. It was obvious that they were targeting Lin Xian. Just as he was about to say something, Lin Xian unexpectedly stood up. "All right, I agree," Lin Xian said in a deep voice. He had just become the champion of the Heavenly Mountain Empire's Alchemy King tournament. Furthermore, his strength was definitely at the top of the third-grade alchemists. Although the two alchemists opposite him had concocted pills for decades, they were not worth mentioning to him. Not only was Lin Xian abnormally talented, but he also had the guidance of a peerless expert like Lord Alcohol. His 1 day of cultivation and comprehension was comparable to several years of an ordinary person's. Therefore, he was not afraid of this competition at all. Seeing Lin Xian agree so readily, Elder Jiang Song's pupils constricted. He agreed so easily. He's indeed an idiot. I only need to use 30% of my strength to defeat him. The two alchemists sneered. They were very confident. They had experienced hundreds of battles and did not think much of a brat like Lin Xian. "What are we competing in?" Lin Xian asked. "I heard that Elder Jiang Song has been suffering from anxiety recently, and the evil fire in his body is very strong. Why don't we compete in concocting pills that dispel the evil fire?" Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. It seemed that the other party had come prepared. As soon as he said that, the two alchemists laughed. "Kid, don't tell me you don't dare?" Elder Jiang Song looked at Lin Xian worriedly. However, when he saw Lin Xian's expression, his nervous heart calmed down. Lin Xian sat back down on the red chair and slowly sipped his spirit tea. He looked calm and composed. Clearly, he did not think much of this competition. If he did not have great confidence in his own strength, it was impossible for him to have such a performance. Stop pretending. Let's see if you still have the face to sit here after I concoct the pills." The two alchemists laughed sinisterly. "This place is too small. Let's go to the alchemy platform," the middle-aged fatty said. "Alchemy platform?" Lin Xian had a puzzled look. "The alchemy platform is an open-air alchemy venue. Some alchemy masters in the residence often concoct pills in public there. Sometimes they will even give lectures," Elder Jiang Song explained. "So that's how it is. Concocting pills in public? It seems this fellow wants me to make a fool of myself. However, it's not certain who will make a fool of himself," Lin Xian sneered. Since the other party had already given him face, how could he not return the favor? Chapter 374. Standing up, Lin Xian calmly followed the three of them to the alchemy platform. There was a square platform in an open space in the north of the Jiang residence. It was about 1 meter tall and 10 meters long and wide. It was wide enough for more than a dozen people to refine pills. Many Jiang family disciples had already gathered in front of the alchemy platform. Jiang Feng and the others stood in the front row and sneered. Beside them stood a cold-looking young man. His gaze was as sharp as a sword. Elder Jiang Song's gaze was gloomy, and there was a hint of anger in his eyes. This was clearly designed to deal with Lin Xian. First, it was a provocation. Then, it was a public alchemy platform. Even the audience was here. Needless to say, the goal was to embarrass Lin Xian in front of everyone and cripple his cultivation. "Now I can only hope that Lin Xian can win," Elder Jiang Song sighed. He was worried for Lin Xian, but he was also worried for himself. If Lin Xian failed, he would probably be attacked as an elder by the middle-aged fatty's side. His opponents might even pull him down from his position as an elder. "Young hero Lin, I'm afraid this matter is not as simple as refining pills. It might involve the power struggle of the Jiang residents. But don't worry. You just need to focus on refining pills. Leave everything else to me." Elder Jiang Song transmitted his voice. Lin Xian nodded. He understood. The middle-aged fatty and Elder Jiang Song were not from the same faction, and Elder Jiang Song's position was too lucrative, causing many people to be jealous. There would definitely be many people who wanted to pull him down. In this competition, crippling Lin Xian was a small matter. Getting rid of Elder Jiang Song was the most important thing. Everyone, an unknown young man appeared in the Jiang residence recently. He claimed to be an alchemist. Elder Jiang Song bought a large amount of precious spirit herbs for him to refine pills. Obviously, Elder Jiang Song was deceived. Or rather, he has some secrets. In order to expose this young man who deceived the Jiang residents, we specially held an alchemy competition here. If this young man can win, it means that Elder Jiang Song has a good eye for talent. If he can't, it means that he is after the Jiang family's resources. You should know what to do with the enemies of the Jiang family, right? The middle-aged fatty said coldly. The surrounding Jiang family's disciples were in an uproar. They didn't expect that someone would be so bold as to target the Jiang family. If he's a fake, I'll let him know the consequences of deceiving the Jiang family. Many disciples said with killing intent. Many people looked at Lin Xian with unfriendly gazes as they discussed among themselves. Clearly, the middle-aged fatty's words had worked. The two alchemists sneered. This scene was exactly what they wanted. Moreover, the two of them did not attach any importance to him at all. In their eyes, what kind of ability could a little brat have? Lin Xian deeply despised such petty tricks, but since they wanted to play, he would accompany them to the end. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Lin Xian, an alchemist. This time, Elder Jiang Song invited me here because he wants me to refine a harmonious spirit Dan. The reason is that the Great Clan Assembly is approaching. Elder Jiang Song wants the younger generation to perform better in the assembly, so he asked me to refine a Dan. However, some people want to stop this for their own selfish desires. Nonsense! The middle-aged fatty shouted coldly. Whether it's nonsense or not, we'll know after the competition. Lin Xian shrugged. Beside him, Elder Jiang Song looked at Lin Xian with gratitude. In his heart, his impression of Lin Xian improved greatly. You can talk about this nonsense after you've refined a top-notch medicinal pill. The two alchemists sneered and quickly came to the center of the stage. Their alchemy robes fluttered and their bodies glowed. With a wave of their sleeves, two exquisite cauldrons appeared in front of them. The two exquisite cauldrons floated in the air, emitting a faint light. The two alchemists waved their sleeves, and dozens of spiritual herbs flew out and entered the cauldrons. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes as he watched the two's proficient and experienced movements. To be honest, the two alchemists were above average among the third-grade alchemists. Otherwise, they wouldn't have become the Jiang Manor's guest elders. However, compared to Lin Xian, this bit of strength was far from enough. The surrounding Jiang family disciples cheered when they saw the two alchemists begin to refine a Dan. Eh? Why isn't that little one refining a Dan? Is he scared silly? Is there a need to ask? Look at how young he is, he definitely doesn't know how to refine a Dan. I guess he doesn't even have a cauldron. The disciple beside Jiang Feng sneered. Under everyone's suspicious gaze, Lin Xian slowly raised his arm. With a wave of his sleeve, he took out the herbs that Elder Jiang Song had prepared for him. With a flick of his finger, he drew mysterious inscriptions in the void. No way, there's really a cauldron! F***ck, how can he refine a Dan without a cauldron? This kid must be messing with us. The disciple beside Jiang Feng shouted angrily. This is the troublesome kid you were talking about? Jiang Jian looked at Lin Xian and sneered disdainfully. Yes, cousin. I've told you that the kid is a liar, but Elder Jiang Song didn't believe me. When he fails to refine the pill, just cripple his cultivation and throw him out. Jiang Jian said as if it was a very normal thing. However, in the Lingwu continent, destroying a martial artist's cultivation was worse than death. Don't worry, cousin. I know what to do. Jiang Feng sneered. The two third-grade alchemists laughed hysterically when they saw Lin Xian refining a Dan with his bare hands. They had lived for so long, but they had never seen anyone who dared to refine a Dan with his bare hands. This kid is trying to be mysterious again. He's dead meat this time. The two of them sneered in their hearts. Elder Jiang Song's eyes were filled with worry. He had never heard of refining a Dan with his bare hands, but Lin Xian did not seem to be faking it when he saw how calm he was. Forget it, we can only wait patiently. He chose to believe in Lin Xian. Lin Xian calmed himself down and ignored the discussion outside. His fingers danced like elves as he quickly extracted the herbs. His speed and agility were comparable to the two third-grade alchemists beside him. What? He's really refining a Dan? No way, there's really someone who can refine a Dan with his bare hands! The surrounding disciples of the general family exclaimed. This scene was too shocking. It was simply a spectacle. The two third-grade alchemists' eyelids twitched when they saw this scene. This is impossible. Where did this kid come from? How can he refine a Dan with his bare hands? Could it be that we were wrong? Could this kid have an extraordinary background? Don't panic. Even if he can refine a Dan with his bare hands, the grade of his Dan is definitely not as high as ours. The two of them whispered to each other. As long as we stay calm and refine the spirit-cleansing pill, we will definitely win. The two of them regained their composure. Below, Jiang Feng's eyes almost popped out of their sockets when he saw this scene. Jiang Jian stood with his hands behind his back and stared coldly at Lin Xian. Interesting. He could refine a Dan with his bare hands. He began to have some interest in Lin Xian, but that was it. Time flew by, and the three alchemists on the stone platform finished refining one after another. However, the result once again shocked the crowd. Chapter 375. The first one to finish was Lin Xian. What's the point of refining first? The elixir pill is a competition of quality, not speed. The two Jiang family alchemists snorted coldly. However, their expressions were gloomy. It was obvious that their hatred for Lin Xian had deepened. Elder, we have refined a superior third-grade elixir pill. The two of them whispered to the middle-aged fatty. The middle-aged fatty nodded slightly. He was satisfied with the result. A superior third-grade elixir pill. I've won this time! Thinking of this, he looked at Lin Xian proudly. A superior third-grade elixir pill. I've won this time. Not only can I kill this kid, but I can also drag Jiang Song down with me. Thinking of this, the middle-aged fatty's face was filled with pride. Not far away, Jiang Song was shocked when he saw the sinister smile on the fatty's face. Am I going to lose? He felt a little uneasy. The refining of the elixir pill is complete. Let's compete next. For the sake of fairness, I've invited the third elder of the family to appraise it. He's an alchemy master, and he's very fair. Everyone should know that. The middle-aged fatty said loudly. It's the third elder. He's a fourth-grade alchemist. The surrounding disciples exclaimed. They usually didn't see the third elder, so they didn't expect to see him here. Under the expectant gaze of the crowd, an old man with a long beard appeared on the stage. He was in a white robe, and his beard was so long that it reached his chest. His old face was imposing, and there was a faint aura of suppression around him. Lin Xian felt a strong soul power from the old man. It seemed that he wasn't any weaker than D. Quebec. As expected of the Dragon Star Kingdom. An elder from the Green Mountain City is not weaker than a top alchemy master from the Sky Mountain Kingdom, Lin Xian exclaimed. All right, take out your elixir pills, the third elder said in a deep voice. The two third-grade alchemists quickly opened their palms and displayed the elixir pills in their hands. Azure Spirit Pill. A superior third-grade elixir pill. It's used to treat the evil fire in the body and to calm the mind. Please examine it, third elder. Hearing that, the Jiang family's third elder waved his arm, and the two green elixirs flew into his hand. The third elder nodded his head lightly. That's right, it's indeed a superior grade 3 medicinal pill. It's not bad to be able to get it in one go. The middle-aged fatty and the two alchemists smiled. It was not easy to gain the approval of the third elder. One had to know that the third elder rarely praised people. Elder Jiang Song, where are your medicinal pills? The middle-aged fatty laughed sinisterly. The surrounding Jiang family disciples also revealed curious expressions. They wanted to know the grade of the elixir that Lin Xian had refined with his bare hands. From the looks of it, it's already good enough that he managed to create it. And he wants it to have a rank effect? He must be dreaming. Jiang Feng smiled coldly. Third elder, this is the pill I refined. Please take a look. Lin Xian flicked the pill in his hand. The third elder turned his hand, and when he opened it again, there was a dark green pill in his hand. He looked at it, and suddenly revealed a surprised expression. It's a top-grade pill. The third elder's eyes revealed a trace of surprise, and he examined it carefully again. The surrounding Jiang family disciples also exclaimed after hearing that. The middle-aged fatty and the two alchemists frowned slightly, revealing an uncertain expression. Humph, a superior grade 2 medicinal pill. No matter how good it is, it can't compare to a grade 3 medicinal pill. It's not easy to refine a superior grade 2 medicinal pill at such a young age. However, it's still far from being comparable to us. The two alchemists nodded and commented. The third elder did not say what grade the pill was. However, according to the two alchemists' speculation, it was already extremely shocking that Lin Xian could refine a grade 2 medicinal pill. As for a grade 3 medicinal pill, it was absolutely impossible. That's right, a top-grade pill. It's indeed a superior grade 3 medicinal pill, Huanqing pill, the third elder said slowly. His voice was like a thunderclap, shocking everyone. What? A superior grade 3 medicinal pill? The middle-aged fatty almost bit his tongue off. The two grade 3 alchemists beside him also trembled, revealing a terrified expression. Impossible, it's absolutely impossible. He's just an unknown brat. How could he refine a grade 3 medicinal pill? Moreover, it's a superior grade medicinal pill. The two alchemists kept shaking their heads. On the other hand, Jiang Feng and the other disciples' faces were pale with fear. An existence who could refine a grade 3 medicinal pill was definitely not someone they could provoke. Jiang Jian frowned slightly. His eyes were shining with a dazzling light as he stared at Lin Xian. On the elixir platform, Elder Jiang Song was also shocked. He originally thought that Lin Xian had lost. He did not expect such an outcome. Third elder, are you sure you didn't see wrongly? The middle-aged fatty stuttered. Huh? The third elder's face darkened. Are you doubting me? I wouldn't dare. We wouldn't dare to doubt you. Who doesn't know that the third elder's husband is selfless? Humph. Third elder didn't bother with the middle-aged fatty and the others. He said in a clear voice, the results of the competition are very clear. This young hero Lin Xian has refined a top-notch Tier 3 pill, and its effects are far superior to a superior Tier 3 pill. Hearing this, the surrounding disciples exclaimed. They never thought that this young man who was younger than them was actually a master alchemist. The middle-aged fatty and the others' faces darkened as they stood there with uncertain gazes. They originally wanted to use this opportunity to get rid of Lin Xian and Elder Song Tao. However, they did not expect such an outcome. This was completely different from what they had planned. Jiang Feng and the other disciples' faces were ashen. They knew the consequences of offending a master alchemist. It was very serious. Humph! Jiang Jian coldly snorted. This result was out of his expectations, and it caused him to feel a trace of anger. However, in front of the third elder, he could not flare up. Although this young hero Lin has refined a superior grade 3 medicinal pill, however, it's still a bit difficult to refine a spirit harmonious realm pill. Why don't we let this young hero give the recipe to the third elder and let you refine it? Wouldn't the success rate be much higher? The middle-aged fatty lowered his head and said. Hearing this, Lin Xian frowned. His eyes emitted a sharp sword light. This damn fatty dared to have ideas about his recipe. This made him want to kill him. At the same time, he looked at the third elder and prepared to escape at any time. If the third elder really wanted to attack, he would use the blood escape technique of the Black Cloak. Coupled with the Black Cloak's other secret techniques, he was confident that he could escape from the third elder and the others. After the third elder heard this, his eyes suddenly became sharp. He coldly looked at the middle-aged fatty. The spirit chi in the sky fluctuated like boiling water. A huge pressure appeared out of thin air above the middle-aged fatty and the others. It was like a pair of invisible hands suddenly pressed down. Third elder, please calm down. The middle-aged fatty and the others were terrified and kept begging for mercy. Do you know the significance of a recipe to a master alchemist? I'll spare your life this time. If you dare to say something like this again, I'll kill you on the spot. Get lost. Don't make a fool of yourself here. The third elder waved his sleeve and sent the middle-aged man and the two master alchemists behind him flying. Then, he looked at Lin Xian. Chapter 376. Young hero Lin, please don't mind. These people are not alchemists, so they don't know the importance of the pill formula. Please don't worry, young hero Lin. This old man will definitely not have any designs on your pill formula. This old man can still keep his word. Lin Xian nodded slightly. He could sense from the other party's soul fluctuations that the other party was not a treacherous villain, but a true alchemy master. In an instant, Lin Xian's identity underwent a shocking reversal. He was originally thought of as a little cheat of resources, but now, he had become a VIP that everyone respected and respected. Young hero Lin, this way please, third elder said with a smile. Next, Lin Xian entered the already prepared superior room and began refining the 3-mark void spirit pill. 3 days later, he walked out with a satisfied smile on his face. How was it? Elder Jiang Song and the rest were already waiting outside. Now that they saw Lin Xian come out, they could not wait to welcome him. There was no choice. The 3-mark void spirit pill was too important. It was related to their results in the clan competition this time. They could not help but be nervous. Not bad. 3 sets of herbs and I refined 2 pills, Lin Xian said slowly. Elder Jiang Song and the rest cheered, but third elder at the side revealed a look of surprise. He had heard of the difficulty of refining the 3-mark void spirit pill. Lin Xian's success rate was actually so high. This was too shocking. Seeing everyone's anxious eyes, Lin Xian took out 2 small white bottles. This is the 3-mark void spirit pill. One is normal grade with only 1 mark on it. The other one is of high quality. It has 2 pill veins. Finished speaking, Lin Xian handed it over. As for how the pills were to be distributed, it was not his business. Third elder took the pill bottle and quickly checked it. Soon, he revealed a satisfied expression. Young hero Lin has worked hard. We have already prepared a room for you. Quickly rest. As for meeting the third peak elder, don't worry. This is not a problem. You will definitely meet him, third elder promised. With third elder's guarantee, Lin Xian was even more relieved. He knew that third elder's position in the clan far surpassed elder Jiang Tao's. Since he had spoken, he would definitely be able to see Jiang Sanfeng. After returning to the room that the Jiang residents had prepared for him, Lin Xian rested for a while. Half a day later, her body recovered to its peak condition. Lin Xian's expression turned solemn as he set up a defensive formation around them. With a flip of his palm, he took out another small white porcelain bottle. A pure white pill was poured out from the bottle. There were 3 colorful stone patterns on it. In fact, Lin Xian had only refined 2 out of the 3 sets of materials. The last set was the supreme grade 3-vein void spirit pill refined by Lord Alcohol. Lin Xian planned to use this pill to break through to the harmonious spirit realm. After adjusting his soul and body to their peak condition, Lin Xian didn't delay. He quickly swallowed the 3-mark spirit void pill. Immediately, the green vortex in her body spun rapidly, absorbing the spiritual energy around her. Just as Lin Xian was trying his best to break through, the Jiang residence outside was in an uproar. The news that Lin Xian had refined the 3-mark spirit void pill had spread throughout the Jiang residence. All the young disciples of the Jiang residence were excited. This was a legendary pill that could raise one's cultivation by a small realm. If one could obtain it, it would definitely save a few years of cultivation time. However, those ordinary disciples could only be envious. They didn't have the chance to take the pill. Only 2 or 3 people were qualified to take it. In the main hall of the Jiang residence, dozens of elders and 4 or 5 young disciples were gathered. Sitting in the middle was the patriarch of the Jiang residence. Below him sat several elders with different expressions. Among them, Elder Jiang Song and third elder were among them. There was also an elder with a hooked nose. His expression was somewhat gloomy as he sat there silently. He was Jiang Jian's grandfather, Jiang Sihai. There were 4 young disciples standing in the hall. The one on the left had a sharp gaze. It was Jiang Jian. In front of him, there was a handsome young man wearing a black robe with a smile on his face. This young man was the number 1 genius disciple of the Jiang residence, Jiang Yihe. As for the remaining 2 disciples, one was a slightly plump young man, and the other was a beautiful woman. These 4 people were all geniuses of the Jiang residence. They were also the main fighting force in the clan meeting. I'm sure you've heard about the pill. We've decided to give one to Jiang Yihe. As for the remaining one, the strongest among the 3 of you will get it, the patriarch said slowly. Hearing this, Jiang Jian frowned slightly. The sharpness in his eyes intensified. In front of him, Jiang Yihe heaved a sigh of relief. His expression became relaxed. Patriarch, isn't this distribution a bit inappropriate? Jiang Sihai said in a deep voice. It was obvious that he was dissatisfied with this decision. Yihe is the most talented disciple in the family. His cultivation is also the highest. Letting him break through again will be very beneficial for this clan meeting, the patriarch said slowly. This is all for the sake of the family. Patriarch, if you're really thinking for the family, then you should let Yihe participate in the competition. I don't deny his talent. Moreover, his cultivation is indeed the highest. However, strength is a comprehensive reflection of a martial artist. Jiang Jian has recently made a breakthrough in the sword Dao. I'm sure his strength won't be weaker than Yihe. Hearing Jiang Sihai's words, the elders were slightly surprised. They all looked at Jiang Jian in the middle of the field. Peak early harmonious spirit realm strength and solid sword chi. Not bad, not bad. The patriarch of the Jiang family nodded slightly. Jiang Jian is not bad, but there is still a gap between him and Yihe. You should know that the gap between early and mid-harmonious spirit realm is not small. We'll know whether there is a gap or not after the competition. Jiang Sihai didn't back down. There was a reason for him to do this. Because if he didn't fight for it, then the 2-mark void spirit pill would be Jiang Yihe's. At that time, even if Jiang Jian won, he would only get a 1-mark void spirit pill. The effect of a 2-mark void spirit pill was much better than a 1-mark void spirit pill. That's why Jiang Sihai fought so hard for Jiang Jian. Since Patriarch Sihai insists, then I'll participate in the competition, Jiang Yihe said. I'll use my strength to get the 2-mark void spirit pill. His words carried a strong sense of confidence. Alright, then everyone will participate in the competition. The first place will get the 2-mark void spirit pill, the patriarch of the Jiang family said. He was also confident in Jiang He. Humph, the 2-mark void spirit pill will be mine, Jiang Jian said coldly. His body overflowed with a sharp sword chi. Jiang Yihe smiled faintly. We'll know whether it's yours or not after the competition. Let's go, let me see your recent progress. Jiang Yihe took the lead and walked out. Suddenly, a group of people walked towards the martial stage in the mansion. When the ordinary disciples outside heard about this, they were all excited and followed behind him. This was the competition between the geniuses in the mansion. It was absolutely exciting and they didn't want to miss it. While everyone was looking forward to the competition, in the west of the Jiang mansion, there was a strong fluctuation of spirit power in the sky. Chapter 377. A huge whirlpool appeared out of thin air, quickly absorbing the surrounding spirit energy, and a faint dragon roar could be heard. A powerful aura appeared out of nowhere, as if a ferocious dragon was roaring, circling in the air. Everyone was shocked, they felt a tremor from their soul. The Jiang family head and the others' faces changed, they quickly flew up, staring at the strange phenomenon in the sky. Jiang Jian and the other genius disciples were also shocked. However, the strange phenomenon in the sky only existed for a few breaths, then it quickly disappeared. In the sky, the huge spirit energy whirlpool also slowly dissipated, the whole sky returned to normal. What's going on? Is there a martial expert in our Jiang family? The family head asked doubtfully. It seems like someone is breaking through. Jiang Sihai frowned. The third elder and elder King Jiang Song both looked to the west, their expressions uncertain. Could it be? The two of them thought of Lin Xian. Impossible! Then the two shook their heads. Even though Lin Xian's spirit energy was strong, his cultivation was ordinary. It was impossible for him to cause such a big commotion. Let's go and see. With such a big thing happening, these elders couldn't just ignore it. The group of people quickly rushed to the west. In the room, Lin Xian slowly opened his eyes, the corner of his mouth raised into a smile. Slightly clenching his fist, the surrounding spirit energy quickly gathered with his movement. Is this the power of a harmonious spirit realm? Too strong! Lin Xian was happy. Not long ago, he swallowed the 3-mark void spirit pill and finally entered the harmonious spirit realm. If you don't enter the harmonious spirit realm, you will always be an ant. This sentence was not wrong. After entering the harmonious spirit realm, one could control the spirit energy of heaven and earth. The power of martial techniques increased by more than 10 times. Moreover, during a battle, a harmonious spirit realm martial artist could quickly absorb the spirit energy of heaven and earth, using it to replenish their energy. Finally, I've entered the harmonious spirit realm. Lin Xian exhaled a breath of relief. Only after entering the harmonious spirit realm would one be qualified to participate in the sacred True Dragon Gathering, and Lin Xian already had this qualification. Next, he only needed to find Jiang Sanfeng, then he could participate in the sacred True Dragon Gathering. Someone's here. Lin Xian sensed with his soul consciousness that several powerful forces were rapidly approaching. He was very familiar with the auras of 2 of them. They were Elder Jiang Song and the third elder. Lin Xian was puzzled. He quickly pushed open the door and left. As soon as he stepped out of the door, he was stunned. There were more than 10 people standing in the sky. Each of them had a powerful aura, and their gazes were constantly scanning the place where he was. All of a sudden, Lin Xian became nervous. Even though he had broken through to the harmonious spirit realm, he still felt pressured when facing so many warriors of the same level. However, these people didn't seem to be here to capture him. Third elder, what are you doing? Lin Xian asked in confusion. Young hero Lin, were there any experts here just now? The third elder quickly asked. Expert? Lin Xian had a strange expression on his face. Kid, the phenomenon of your breakthrough alarmed them, said Lord Alcohol with a voice transmission. Hearing this, Lin Xian frowned. Just now, a huge spirit energy whirlpool appeared here, and an azure dragon phantom appeared. We're guessing that there might be an expert nearby. When I was in the house just now, I did sense an obscure and powerful aura. However, it disappeared in an instant. As for whether it's the expert you're looking for, I don't know. Lin Xian lied. He didn't want to expose his strength, and even more so, didn't want to attract too much attention. Above, dozens of gazes fell on Lin Xian as they tried to sense him. Lin Xian felt a sense of pressure. He quickly concealed his cultivation base and secretly activated the Black Cloak's function, revealing his half-step harmonious spirit cultivation base. Half-step harmonious spirit, it's not him. The elders revealed a disappointed expression. The third elder and Elder Jiang Song let out a sigh of relief. If the phenomenon just now was really caused by Lin Xian, it would be too terrifying. Oh right, let me introduce you. These are the elders of the Jiang Manor. This is the Jiang family's patriarch, said Elder Jiang Song. Greetings, seniors. Lin Xian slightly bowed. Patriarch, everyone, this is young hero Lin, the third-grade alchemist who concocted the void spirit pill. Hearing this, everyone's gaze fell on Lin Xian again, but this time, it was filled with curiosity and bewilderment. The Jiang family's patriarch chuckled. Young hero Lin is really a young genius, to be able to concoct such a strange pill. This time, you've really helped the Jiang Manor a lot. This old man thanks you. You're too polite, senior. Lin Xian smiled. All right, it's fine. Perhaps it's just an expert passing by. Let's go to the battle martial stage. Battle martial stage? Lin Xian's eyes flashed. It's about the distribution of the pills. Young hero Lin, are you interested in watching the battle? The third elder smiled. He had a good impression of Lin Xian. After all, he was very willing to befriend such a genius in alchemy. It's my honor. Lin Xian smiled. This was a good opportunity to understand the strength of the geniuses of the Dragon Star Empire. Lin Xian didn't want to miss it. After all, he was going to compete for a spot in the sacred True Dragon Gathering. Along the way, Lin Xian found out that there were only 4 geniuses competing for the Void Spirit Pill. Among them, the most eye-catching ones were Jiang Jian and Jiang Yihe. Both of them were top geniuses. One of them had reached the mid-harmonious spirit realm. The other had a superb sword art and a powerful sword technique. The target that the two of them were fighting over was precisely that 2-mark Void Spirit Pill. The 4 of them would take turns to fight, and the final winner would get the 2-mark Void Spirit Pill. The rules were simple and the goal was clear, but everyone knew that it would be an exciting battle. Lin Xian followed the third elder and the others to the stage, silently sizing up the 4 geniuses. The first battle was between Jiang Jian and the chubby youth, Jiang Yuan. I said, you better give up, or don't blame my sword for being merciless. Even when facing a fellow disciple, Jiang Jian's expression was still cold. Isn't Jiang Jian a bit too arrogant? Jiang Yuan is one of the 4 geniuses of the Jiang Manor. How can he give up? The audience was discussing among themselves. Lin Xian circulated his soul power to sense the strength of the 2 geniuses. Early harmonious spirit realm, similar in cultivation. One of them has a sharp attack, the other focuses on defense. Lin Xian whispered. The chubby youth, Jiang Yuan, looked serious. If you want me to give up, then show me what you've got. He quickly condensed an earthy yellow defense in front of him, forming a thick armor. His arms shook and condensed into 2 mountain peaks, which then fell down. Boom! The stage shook, and a powerful airflow gushed out. The surrounding disciples felt a great pressure. At this moment, Jiang Yuan's body was covered with a stone-like armor. He held the 2 mountain peaks in his hands and attacked Jiang Jian. It's useless, Jiang Jian sneered. His silver sword was unsheathed, forming countless silver rays in the air. Each ray of light contained a powerful energy that was enough to destroy everything. The sword light swept across, shattering the yellow armor in front of the chubby youth. His body was also sent flying. A line of blood appeared on his abdomen, and blood kept flowing out. What kind of sword technique is this? How can it tear apart my defense? The chubby youth was frightened. Chapter 378. As one of the 4 geniuses of the Jiang family, his strength was not to be underestimated. A few months ago, he was on par with Jiang Jian, but now, he was defeated in 1 strike. With a wry smile, the chubby youth walked down the stage with a disappointed look. The Jiang family's disciples who were watching the battle cried out in surprise. This result was beyond their expectations. The beautiful girl Jiang Xian looked dignified. She was also one of the 4 geniuses, but she did not see the trajectory of the silver sword light. What a terrifying sword technique! It seems that Jiang Jian's strength has improved tremendously. I wonder how he compares to Jiang Yihe? Jiang only showed a little of his strength. He is really powerful. You have not seen it yet, Jiang Sihai said proudly. Jiang Xian versus Jiang Jian. In the next match, the beautiful girl Jiang Xian was also sent flying by 1 strike. Jiang Jian's strength was deeply imprinted in everyone's heart. Jiang Jian's strength was too terrifying. It was far beyond the other 2. Perhaps only Jiang Yihe could defeat him. They were looking forward to the battle between the 2. Many disciples were looking forward to it. Jiang Yihe's strength was unquestionable. His palm wind brought along a sky full of snow, and he easily defeated the pudgy youth and the beautiful girl. Jiang Yuan and Jiang Xian's faces were gloomy. They had no fate with the Void Spirit Pill. Lin Xian watched several matches and frowned. Jiang Jian and Jiang Yihe's strength was beyond his expectations. These two people were probably top existences in the Heavenly Mountain Empire, but they were only geniuses from a small city in the Dragon Star Empire. I wonder how strong the geniuses of the 6 major powers of the Dragon Star Empire are? Lin Xian was looking forward to it. On the stage, Jiang Jian and Jiang Yi faced each other. Two powerful auras constantly collided, causing the air to fluctuate. At this moment, Jiang Jian's body was emitting a terrifying sword aura. It was like a sharp blade, causing the void to tremble. Jiang Yi's body was emitting a blue light, overflowing with cold air. It was as if he had come to a land of ice and snow. I will let you know that I am the real genius of the Jiang family. Jiang Jian's silver sword stabbed out. Fine silver light spots appeared in the sky. They were like gorgeous fireworks, quickly rushing towards Jiang Yi. Cold ice palm! Jiang Yi's figure was erratic, and each of his palms carried a powerful cold chi, forming an azure frost. In an instant, the arena was filled with ice palms. They covered the sky and the earth, and all of them collided with the silver light. Puff! Puff! The silver sword chi was unstoppable as it quickly pierced through the blue palm shadow. Then, with an even more violent speed, it rushed towards Jiang Yi. However, even though the blue palm of light was pierced through, it did not shatter. Instead, it brought with it boundless cold chi as it grabbed towards Jiang Jian. The two of them moved quickly, the surging spiritual energy stirring the surrounding spiritual energy. Every single one of these attacks could seriously injure an ordinary early soul realm cultivator. However, the two of them were completely unharmed by such an attack. Lin Xian was amazed and secretly compared the two. He realized that even if he were to face the two of them, he would not be able to obtain victory in a short period of time unless he used his trump card. Looks like I have to hurry up and comprehend the concept of wind and lightning. Lin Xian felt a sense of urgency. If he could comprehend this concept, he was confident that he could defeat the two of them within 10 moves. In the arena, more than half of the area had turned into a frozen land, blooming with blue light. If one looked carefully, they would notice that there were small sword holes in the ice. Take my sword, silver light filling the sky! Jiang Jian shouted in a low voice. His body leaped up, and the long sword in his hand swept across. A huge silver sword she condensed in the air. This sword was a threat to a mid-harmonious spirit realm cultivator. The Jiang family patriarch's face changed slightly. He could see the power of this sword, but he was not sure if Jiang Yi could dodge it. Jian'er will win! Jiang Sihai's face revealed a victorious smile. The silver sword chi continued to grow bigger and faster like a meteor. It instantly arrived beside Jiang Yi. Chi! The thick sword chi instantly cut Jiang Yi into 2 halves. Ah! Everyone exclaimed, their faces were filled with fear. Was the number 1 genius of the Jiang family going to die here? Something's not right! Lin Xian's eyes flashed. He activated his eye technique and discovered the secret. On the arena, the 2 halves of the corpse suddenly emitted a blue light and quickly turned into 2 eye sculptures. On the ice blue wall behind Jiang Jian, Jiang Yi's figure suddenly appeared. Freezing sky! A palm strike was launched. The sharp palm shadow instantly tore apart Jiang Jian's body protection and landed on his back. Puff! Jiang Jian's body flew forward before he could react. This sudden change caused everyone to cry out in alarm. Jiang Jian's hair was disheveled and his eyes revealed a ferocious look. Ah! He roared towards the sky and unleashed a powerful silver sword chi. Silver sea overflowing sky! The silver light in the sky intertwined into a huge silver flood dragon, occupying half of the arena. Jiang Yi did not want to be outdone. He continuously waved his palm. The terrifying cold chi formed an ice phoenix that spread its wings. The two forces collided. The entire arena was shrouded in silver light and cold chi. On the grandstand, layers of ice quickly formed and froze the silver flood dragon. Even Jiang Jian's body became slower. The sword chi swept across the arena. The fine sword chi crazily strangled everything. However, Jiang Jian's body had accumulated a lot of cold qi due to the previous palm strike. His combat strength was greatly reduced. Moreover, Jiang Yihe's mid-harmonious spirit realm cultivation was not to be underestimated. In the end, the silver sword qi was frozen along with Jiang Jian. The crowd was stunned. After a long time, they exclaimed. The two's techniques were too amazing. All kinds of strange techniques emerged one after another. Lin Xian also nodded his head in amazement. Beside him, the Jiang family patriarch and others smiled and nodded. Jiang Sihai's expression was gloomy. His body swayed and quickly came to the arena to rescue Jiang Jian from the ice. After checking Jiang Jian's body, Jiang Sihai was relieved when he found that Jiang Jian did not suffer any serious injuries. However, his face became even more gloomy. Originally, he was confident that Jiang Jian could win the 2-mark Void Spirit Pill and become the #1 genius of the Jiang family. However, he did not expect Jiang Yihe to be so powerful. It completely disrupted his plan. Alright, it's just a competition. There's no need to be so angry. The Jiang family patriarch came out to mediate. Yihe, your strength is not bad. But don't be arrogant. This great clan meeting is not simple. I believe there will be a lot of strong opponents. This 2-mark Void Spirit Pill is for you. You must break through to late harmonious spirit realm. I understand. Jiang Yihe received the white pill bottle. Jiang Jian, your sword technique is not bad. It's just that your cultivation is a bit weak. If you can break through to mid-harmonious spirit realm, your strength will increase again. The Jiang family patriarch gave him the 1-mark Void Spirit Pill. Thank you, patriarch. I will definitely achieve good results for the family in the great clan meeting. Jiang Jian held the pill bottle and said while gritting his teeth. Alright, there's still half a month left. All of you must work hard, the patriarch reminded. Chapter 379. 3 days later, Jiang Yihe successfully broke through to the late stage of the harmonious spirit realm, increasing his strength once again. The entire Jiang manor was filled with excitement. Jiang Jian was also outstanding. With the help of the 1-mark Void Spirit Pill, he also successfully broke through to the mid-stage of the harmonious spirit realm. Haha, young hero Lin Xian, it's all thanks to you this time. Third Elder laughed as he entered Lin Xian's room. I've already informed the patriarch. I'll bring you to meet the 3rd Peak Elder now. Many thanks. Lin Xian let out a sigh of relief. He had been waiting for this moment for so long. After passing through layers of halls and pavilions, he followed the 3rd Elder to a heavily guarded place. It was a 3-story pavilion with a grand aura, revealing its extraordinariness. As they approached the martial skill pavilion, Lin Xian felt countless gazes constantly sweeping over him. He knew that these were the warriors hiding in the dark, guarding the martial skill pavilion. 3rd Elder, how come you have the time to come here? You even brought a child with you? An elder appeared nearby. I'm here on the Patriarch's orders to meet Elder Jiang Sanfeng. Oh? Meet the 3rd Peak Elder? The elder was slightly surprised. Wait here, I'll go inform him. Lin Xian was surprised. The two of them spoke with incomparable reverence for Elder Jiang Sanfeng. It seemed like Elder Jiang Sanfeng's status was higher than he had imagined. No need, I already know. An old voice sounded. In the next moment, a gray-white figure appeared beside them. So fast! Lin Xian's pupils shrank. His soul force couldn't sense how the elder arrived. Lin Xian looked over with astonishment. He saw the 3rd Peak Elder wearing a Taoist robe. His face was skinny, but his eyes were incomparably deep, as if countless stars were flickering within them. What a powerful old man! Lin Xian was shocked. This elder's strength was too terrifying. Peak of the spirit transformation realm, 1 step away from the spirit detecting realm. Lord Alcohol transmitted. Peak of the spirit transformation realm? Lin Xian was stunned. Such a powerful old man was not a spirit detecting realm expert. Then just how strong would a spirit detecting realm expert be? That day, A spirit-detecting realm expert had descended upon the Xia country and caused the entire Xia country to surrender. He needed to have the power to surpass the spirit-detecting realm before he could return to the Xia country. It seems that I still have a long way to go. Lin Xian clenched his fists. Don't worry. When you find the great dragon sword, everything will no longer be a fantasy. Lord Alcohol consoled. Greetings, Third Peak Elder. The Third Peak Elder and the old man said respectfully at the same time. Lin Xian also bowed respectfully. Greetings, Senior. Kid, why are you looking for me? Jiang Sanfeng asked. I wonder if Senior has ever been to the Heavenly Mountain Kingdom? Lin Xian asked with a glimmer of hope. Yes, I did go there when I was young. Elder Jiang Sanfeng said slowly. Then does Senior know a person called Han Sha? Han Sha was the old man's name. Elder Jiang Sanfeng recalled for a moment before shaking his head slightly. Lin Xian was extremely disappointed. He took out the token that old man DK had given him and quickly asked, Senior, do you recognize this token? The Third Peak Elder shook his head. Back then, I only stayed in the Heavenly Mountain Kingdom for a few days before leaving. I didn't interact with anyone. Is that not the case? Lin Xian put away the token and frowned. From the looks of it, he had gone in the wrong direction. On account of your great contributions to the Jiang Manor, I specially came to meet you today. All right, now that you have met, you may leave, Elder Jiang Sanfeng said. Sorry for disturbing you. Lin Xian left the martial arts pavilion with the third elder in disappointment. How could this be? It's actually not an elder of the martial arts pavilion? Then who could it be? Lin Xian muttered. Young hero Lin, this is actually very normal. There's no need for you to be depressed. The Jiang family is one of the 4 major family clans in the Dragon Rising Strong country. The entire Jiang family has 3 major branch clans and countless smaller branches. And our Qinshan city's Jiang Manor is just one of the smaller branches. In the entire Jiang family, there are many people named Jiang Sanfeng. Maybe the person you are looking for is in another branch. Lin Xian's eyes flashed as hope rose in his heart. Indeed, old man DK had said that if he found Jiang Sanfeng, he would be able to join the Green Dragon Association. A person with such power was definitely not an ordinary person. A branch elder of the Qinshan city's Jiang family wouldn't have such power. Could it be in the main Jiang family clan? Lin Xian took a deep breath. The Jiang family was one of the 4 major family clans. Their strength was second only to the Dragon Elephant sect. If he wanted to go in and find someone, it wouldn't be easy. Young hero Lin, this time we are going to the Qinshan Lake Jiang family's clan meeting. Why don't you come with us? The third elder said. The Qinshan Lake Jiang family's clan branch clan is one of the 3 major branches of the Jiang family. The person you are looking for might be there. All right. Lin Xian nodded. Since his target was the Jiang family, he could start from the branch clan. With an idea in mind, Lin Xian waited for the Jiang family's clan meeting to begin. In the following days, Lin Xian concentrated on cultivating. After entering the harmonious spirit realm, he had a new understanding of sword intent. He had completely grasped the Wind Emperor's sword technique, and was only a step away from comprehending the concept of wind. Taking a deep breath, he took out the sword intent treasure box again. As his cultivation increased, he was confident that he could completely open the sword intent treasure box this time. After leaving the Qinshan city, Lin Xian came to the wilderness. He set up a defensive formation. He held the sword intent treasure box in his hand. He used the silver lightning mark and combined it with the surrounding spiritual energy to form an even stronger defense. Ka. The sword intent treasure box was slowly opened. Suddenly, a sharp sword intent appeared in the surroundings. Buzz, buzz. Buzz. A sword intent rushed out of Lin Xian's body, crazily resisting the sword intent in the sword intent treasure box. Open for me! Lin Xian roared and pulled with his palms, opening the sword intent treasure box completely. The sharp sword intent formed a blood-red long sword in the air and slashed at him mercilessly. Clang! Lin Xian controlled the sword intent in his body and formed an azure dragon. It circled above his head and blocked the attack of the blood-red long sword. At the same time, he used his eye technique and looked into the treasure box. The result gave him a huge shock. Inside the treasure box was a palm-sized branch with 3 sword marks on it. The terrifying sword intent was emitted from the 3 sword marks. Lin Xian was shocked. How powerful must a swordsman be to leave such a terrifying sword intent on the branch? It's at least a swordsman with great success in sword intent. From the sword marks on the branch, it seems to have a trace of indestructible aura. Lord Alcohol transmitted. Lin Xian sighed. He yearned for such power. Holding the branch with sword marks, Lin Xian sat cross-legged and began to comprehend the sword intent on it. 10 days later, Lin Xian suddenly opened his eyes. 2 sharp sword beams tore through the void and pierced through the mountain rocks in front of him. At that moment, he was like a peerless sword, emitting an aura that made one's heart palpitate. As for the branch with the sword mark in his hand, it had turned into powder. 70% sword intent. I never expected a branch to allow me to comprehend 70% sword intent. Chapter 380. It's a pity that the branch is broken. Otherwise, I could still comprehend it. Be content. 70% sword intent in the harmonious spirit realm is already very terrifying. I'm afraid that other warriors can't even reach this level. Jiu Yi said. Indeed, Lin Xian felt this powerful force. He felt that he could even fight against a late harmonious spirit warrior. Not only that, he felt that his understanding of Wind Emperor's sword had become more thorough. It was as if he could comprehend the concept of wind at any time. It's about time. The Jiang clan's convention will begin soon. Lin Xian's figure flashed and left the forest. The Jiang mansion was very lively these days. Disciples cultivating could be seen everywhere. It could be said that the entire Jiang mansion was in a frenzy of cultivation. When Lin Xian returned, he saw the 3rd elder who was looking for him. Young hero Lin, you're finally back. The 3rd elder was happy. Is the convention about to begin? Lin Xian asked. Yes, we'll depart tomorrow to Qinshui Lake. Young hero Lin, please don't leave again. The 3rd elder reminded. Lin Xian nodded and agreed with a smile. After the 3rd elder left, he went back to his room and had a good sleep. On the 2nd day, many people gathered in the square of the Jiang mansion. There were also 2 huge flying beasts in the distance. Most of the people in the crowd were disciples of the Jiang family. The rest were some white-haired elders. Jiang Jian and Jiang Yihe stood in the front row of the Jiang family disciples. Their eyes were filled with fighting spirit. Lin Xian walked over and greeted them. He then stood aside. The patriarch of the Jiang family nodded and said in a clear voice, It's about time. All the disciples of Qinshui Lake will be gathered in this convention. It's a very grand convention. You must listen to the 3rd elder and the 4th elder's orders. Don't act on your own. Yes. The disciples below shouted excitedly. You must show your best strength in the convention and strive for the best ranking. I'll be waiting for your triumphant return in the Jiang mansion. The patriarch shouted. Hearing this, the disciples' eyes were filled with fighting spirit. Showing off in the convention wasn't only for the family but also for themselves. If he performed well, he might be able to stay in Qinshui Lake and even have the chance to enter the powerful Jiang family. This was the dream of all the Jiang family's disciples. Well, I'll leave these disciples to you too, Jiang family patriarch said to Jiang Sihai and the 3rd elder. The 2 nodded, then turned around and said in a deep voice, Let's go. Everyone leaped onto the 2 flying beasts in the middle of the square. Lin Xian and the 3rd elder also got on. The group quickly set off. 5 days later, they arrived at a place with beautiful scenery. There was a rectangular lake below that was as clear as jade. On one side of the lake was an endless mountain range, and on the other side was a majestic town. It stood there like an ancient, ferocious beast. Before he even got close, he could already sense an ancient and weathered aura. Eh? It's an ancient city! Lord Alcohol was astonished. Although Lin Xian didn't know what an ancient city meant, something that could surprise Lord Alcohol was naturally extraordinary. Therefore, he also carefully looked down a few more times. However, with his vision and strength, he didn't find anything unusual. Therefore, he stopped paying attention. The two flying beasts landed on the grass near the green lake. Everyone jumped off and stretched their bodies. Blackfeather City didn't allow flying beasts to enter, so the two flying beasts could only stay there. After some reorganization, the third elder and Jiang Sihai led the group of disciples to Blackfeather City. The pitch-black city walls were painted with black feathers, giving off a unique aura. The little white monkey jumped out of the storage ring and sat on Lin Xian's shoulder, curiously looking at the ancient city. Its eyes were filled with excitement, as if there was something inside that was very attractive to it. "Don't run around," Lin Xian warned. He didn't want the little white monkey to cause trouble for him at this time. The little white monkey nodded with an "I understand" look. "Stop!" Entering Blackfeather City, 30 mid-grade spirit stones per person. 2 guards blocked the group with their spears. 30 mid-grade spirit stones wasn't cheap. Lin Xian was surprised. He curiously looked at the guards on both sides. Half-step harmonious spirit realm cultivation, and one of them is at the harmonious spirit realm. He found that the head guard was at the harmonious spirit realm, and the other guards in black armor were all at the half-step harmonious spirit realm. None of them were weak. This kind of cultivation would be an elite in a country like the Xia country. But now, these people were just gatekeepers. A strong country was indeed a strong country. Everywhere was extraordinary. Lin Xian praised. "We are a branch of the Jiang family. We are here to participate in the clan meeting." The third elder took out an invitation from his storage ring. "Oh, a branch of the Jiang family. Let's go in." The head guard glanced at the invitation and revealed a gentle smile. The Jiang family was a powerful force in Blackfeather City. They weren't someone they could easily provoke. Jiang Jian and Jiang Yihe saw the change in the guard's expression and immediately became envious of the Jiang family of Green Water Tiger. If they could become a disciple of the Jiang family of Green Water Tiger, their status would be raised a lot. The group walked into Blackfeather City and quickly headed towards the Jiang family. Obviously, it wasn't the first time that the third elder and Jiang Sihai came here. They were very familiar with the terrain. Therefore, Lin Xian and the rest didn't delay and went straight to the Jiang family's territory. A building that was even more magnificent than the Green Mountain City was in front of them. It was emitting a terrifying qi that made people's heart palpitate. "How is this a palace? This is a mountain!" the crowd exclaimed. "Humph! A bunch of country bumpkins!" A few arrogant young men sneered. "What did you say?" someone shouted. Jiang Jian and the rest frowned. "I said you country bumpkins. Why are you still not convinced?" The young men sneered. "You are just a bunch of country bumpkins. How can you be a match for us Green Water Tiger? I don't think you need to participate in the clan meeting. Just get lost. You're courting death." Jiang Jian snorted. His body emitted a silver sword qi. Jiang Yihe also frowned. His eyes emitted a chilling intent. "Yihe, Jiang Jian," the third elder said in a low voice. "Time is running out. Go in quickly." "But..." The two of them wanted to say something but were stopped by Jiang Sihai. "Count yourself lucky." Jiang Jian glared fiercely at the few disciples, then strode in. "Not convinced? I'm Jiang Qianluan. You better not let me see you at the clan meeting. Otherwise, I'll make sure you crawl back," the young man shouted. "Jiang Qianluan, I'll remember this. You'll regret what you said today," Jiang Jian said coldly. Lin Xian didn't say anything, but he sighed in his heart. From the attitude of Jiang Sihai and the third elder, he realized that the Jiang family of Green Mountain City didn't have a high status among the branch families. Otherwise, with their strength and status, they would definitely fly into a rage if something like this happened. Now, they could only pretend that they didn't hear anything. "I don't know if the person I'm looking for is here." Lin Xian took a deep breath. Chapter 381. Entering the Jiang clan was like entering an exquisite garden. There were rocks and waterfalls everywhere. It was beautiful. However, no one was in the mood to admire it. They were still angry about what happened at the entrance. Don't think about what happened just now. If you're not convinced, you can get back your face at the clan meeting, Jiang Sihai said. Elder Sihai is right. You only have one goal now, and that is to show off your skills at the clan meeting. Pretend that you didn't hear anything else. Everyone gritted their teeth. They knew that their status was definitely not as high as these clan disciples. The only chance to vent their anger was at the clan meeting. Many branch families had come to the clan meeting held by the Jiang clan of Green Water Lake. The Jiang clan of Green Mountain City was just an ordinary branch. Their strength was below average among these branches. Therefore, not only did the Green Water Lake disciples look down on them, but even some branch disciples looked down on them. Yo, aren't these people from Green Mountain City? A mocking voice sounded. Everyone turned around and saw a group of people standing not far away. The person in the lead was an old man. Behind him stood more than 10 young disciples, all of whom had arrogant expressions. Cold Wind City's Jiang clan branch. Third elder frowned. I've been waiting for you here for a long time. Why are you only here now? Are you planning to be a coward this year? The old man sneered. Jiang Tianyao, what do you mean by that? Jiang Sihai snorted. He didn't dare to resist against the Green Water Lake disciples, but he wouldn't go easy on the Cold Wind City branch. What do I mean? Do you want to bet again this year? Jiang Tianya asked. Bet? Lin Xian looked puzzled. Why wouldn't I dare? I'm just afraid that you won't dare to agree. Jiang Sihai sneered. Okay, same old rules. If we win, we'll use Green Mountain City's Green Mountain Cave for 3 days. If we lose, we'll let you use Cold Wind City's Cold Wind Array for 3 days. How about that? Jiang Jian and the others' expressions changed. They knew about the Green Mountain Cave and Cold Wind City that the old man mentioned. Those were the sacred grounds of the clan. Even the patriarch could only use it 3 times a year. Others couldn't use it at all. After Lin Xian understood the situation, he was slightly speechless. The stakes were a little too high. Jiang Tianya, you will definitely lose this time. The third elder gritted his teeth and said. You guys sure talk big. You guys used to say that too, but when have you ever won? Jiang Tianya said disdainfully. Lin Xian's eyes flickered as he rubbed his nose. It seemed that the Jiang clan's situation wasn't very good. This time, we will definitely win. Jiang Yihe walked out and said in a deep voice. Jiang Tianya sneered. Late harmonious spirit realm? Are you the kid who used pills to increase his realm? His voice was full of disdain, but Lin Xian could hear the thick jealousy in his voice. The faces of the third elder and the others changed. Even Jiang Yihe was trembling. They couldn't figure out why the people of Cold Wind City would know about this. You're just a piece of trash who can only use some dirty tricks. I'll let you know the true strength of a late harmonious spirit warrior. On Cold Wind City's side, a young man with long and narrow eyes walked out. This young man had a powerful aura, and he carried a purple saber on his back. His eyes were filled with endless sharpness. Humph, I'll fight you. Jiang Jian took a step forward, and a silver sword aura soared into the sky. The young man with the saber squinted his eyes. Get out of my way, mid-harmonious spirit warrior. Die. Jiang Jian's silver sword aura gathered and was about to slash down. Enough. Everyone stop. Jiang Sihai shouted coldly. If you want to fight, there are plenty of opportunities in the arena. Kid, you better not meet me, or else you'll be dead. The young man with the saber sneered. You'll be the one to die. Jiang Jian didn't back down. On the side, Jiang Yihe also said in a deep voice, I'll let you know my true strength. The other disciples' hearts sank. It seemed that they had a lot of enemies this time. Not only the Jiang clan of Green Water Lake, but also the Cold Wind City's branch. Third elder, so you're here. The people of the other branches saw the third elder and the others and greeted them warmly. I heard that you have pills that can increase the cultivation of harmonious spirit realm. Is this true? Everyone was excited. Yes, what kind of alchemist can concoct this kind of pill? You should introduce it to us. Jiang Sihai and the third elder frowned slightly. The news had actually spread out and everyone knew about it. It was really beyond their expectations. How did you know? The third elder asked. Know the enemy and know yourself, so that you won't be defeated. Those people laughed. Who is this young man? Why isn't he wearing the uniform of the Green Mountain City? Many people looked at Lin Xian. In this clan meeting, different branches would wear different clothes. For example, the disciples of Green Mountain City wore green clothes, while the disciples of Cold Wind City wore blue clothes. Lin Xian wore black clothes, which made him stand out from the rest. This is young hero Lin. He came with us this time for other matters. The third elder explained. Humph, how can we allow others to enter the clan meeting? Third elder, this is not appropriate. Jiang Tianya snorted. What's wrong with this? Every clan meeting will invite some guests. Why can't I bring someone? The third elder retorted. The clan meeting will only invite people with noble status. Who is this kid? How can he be compared to those people? A few disciples of Green Mountain City walked over and shouted coldly. Lin Xian frowned. He didn't expect the conflict to involve him. This Lin Xian can't be related to the alchemist who concocted that miraculous pill, right? Someone asked doubtfully. Suddenly, everyone's eyes lit up. It's very possible. Otherwise, the third elder and the others wouldn't bring this kid. What a strong soul power! A few elders in the crowd looked at Lin Xian with doubtful eyes. Are you an alchemist? Lin Xian was surprised. He didn't release his soul power. Ordinary people wouldn't be able to sense it. But these elders could sense it. It seemed like this Green Mountain City was full of crouching tigers and hidden dragons. Seeing that he couldn't hide it any longer, the third elder quickly explained. This young hero Lin is indeed an alchemist. Moreover, he's an honored guest of our Green Mountain City. Alchemist? Could he be the one who concocted that pill? How is that possible? He's so young. He must be his master. Young hero Lin, I wonder if your master can concoct some for us. If you have any requests, please tell us. The group was very enthusiastic. Everyone, please don't make things difficult for young hero Lin. The third elder helped them out. Third elder, this is your fault. Good things should be shared among everyone. Someone said unhappily. Humph, kid, tell your master to come over and concoct 10 pills for each of our Green Mountain City disciples. A domineering voice sounded. Everyone was stunned. 10 pills for each person? Were you a cabbage? But when they saw the person who spoke, they all shut up. A youth in a white robe appeared in the crowd. Beside him were several white-clothed disciples. Chapter 382. The young man's white sleeves were embroidered with golden clouds. This was the symbol of a core disciple of the Green Water Lake. This kind of disciple's status was even higher than that of a branch elder. Didn't you hear what I said? The young man in white frowned. Sure, but you have to provide your own materials and 3 million mid-grade spirit stones, Lin Xian said lightly. He didn't want to refine medicine for these people, so he offered such a ridiculous price. What? 3 million mid-grade spirit stones? Everyone was shocked. He's too daring. Is this kid so poor that he's crazy? Who knew that he would be so rude to a core disciple of the Green Water Lake? This kid is going to be unlucky. A group of people whispered. They knew that the Green Water Lake disciples wouldn't let this matter go. As expected, the young man in white's face darkened when he heard Lin Xian's words. Kid, do you know who you're talking to? I think you're tired of living. The white-robed youth, Jiang Hong, said coldly. I think you're tired of living? Lin Xian sneered. You dare to offend an alchemy inscription master? Are you tired of living? Humph, alchemy inscription masters differ from person to person. If it was your master, maybe I would be more polite. But I don't need to be polite to you. Jiang Hong sneered. Green Water Lake disciples, are your eyes on your head? So rude, Lin Xian said in a low voice. He was tired of these people. Each and every one of them was so arrogant. You're courting death. The young man in white was furious. Jiang Lu, take him down. Yes. A disciple beside him stepped forward. Brother Jiang Hong, there's no need for you to take action. I'll take care of him. The young man with a saber from Cold Wind City said. Everyone, why don't you give me some face and let this matter go? The third elder cupped his hands. Give you face? Who do you think you are? Jiang Hong sneered. This is the Green Water Lake. You're nothing here. You. The third elder was furious. He could only snort coldly. The disciples of Green Mountain City also felt aggrieved. Ha ha, kid, no one can save you. The young man with the saber laughed. The reason he took the initiative to make the first move was naturally to curry favor with Jiang Hong. If he could please a core disciple, then their status in Cold Wind City would rise by a lot. Everyone was silent. Many people sighed. In their opinion, Lin Xian was a half-step harmonious spirit realm warrior. He would definitely die if he faced a late harmonious spirit realm warrior. Sigh, what a pity. He's too young and doesn't know how to endure. That's right. He has offended the Green Water Lake. Even if he has a powerful master, I'm afraid that his future days will not be easy. Humph. You're really courting death. Cold Wind City's disciples sneered. You ant who doesn't know the immensity of heaven and earth, this isn't a place where you can behave atrociously. Obediently kowtow and admit your wrongs. The young man with the saber walked over step by step. With every step he took, the aura on his body grew stronger. So powerful. Jiang Jian's eyes were filled with fighting spirit as a silver sword light appeared on his body. He is indeed very strong. Jiang, his expression was incomparably solemn. He felt a wave of pressure. This person was 3 times stronger than him. How could Lin Xian have the chance to escape? The third elder's eyes were filled with uncertainty. The spirit energy on his body was also fluctuating. If you dare to make a move, I will remove all the disciples of Green Mountain City. The white-robed young man, Jiang Hong, said coldly. The third elder's body trembled, and the spirit energy on his body was quickly extinguished. Haha, let's see who can save you now. The young man with the saber laughed. Lin Xian turned his head to look at the third elder and the others. He saw that they were silent, and had no intention to make a move. With a sigh, Lin Xian ignored them. He knew that his fate with these people had come to an end. From now on, they would have nothing to do with each other. Obediently accept your death. The young man with the saber took a step forward, and a sharp saber light gushed out from his body. This aura caused some of the weaker disciples to turn pale and almost faint. What a lackey taking credit. Unfortunately, you have found the wrong person. Lin Xian's eyes gradually became sharp. An invisible sword intent was emitted from his body. Eh? He's fine? The crowd exclaimed. Even some early harmonious spirit warriors couldn't withstand it, but Lin Xian was fine. Not only was he fine, he even mocked the young man with the saber as a lackey. This was too crazy. You're courting death. The young man with the saber's face was gloomy. His 5 fingers formed into a claw and grabbed at Lin Xian. He didn't use his saber because Lin Xian wasn't worth it. This claw was aimed at Lin Xian's head. If Lin Xian was caught, he would definitely die on the spot. The crowd sneered and shook their heads. They all thought that Lin Xian was dead meat. In a flash, the young man with the saber arrived in front of Lin Xian. His steel-like hand mercilessly fell. Lin Xian's finger was like a sword quickly stabbing out. The green sword light swallowed and spat out like a cold wind. The finger landed on the young man's palm. Puff! Blood splattered. The young man with the saber screamed and retreated. Drip, drip! A row of blood droplets was left on the green stone floor. The young man with the saber retreated 10 steps, holding his right hand. His face was full of fear. Impossible, This is impossible. How could you hurt me? He crazily shouted. The young man with the saber was injured. This was too unbelievable. One should know that he was a late harmonious spirit warrior. At this moment, everyone's face changed. The third elder and the others were shocked. They didn't expect Lin Xian to be so strong. The young man in the white robe stared at Lin Xian with a gloomy gaze. Jiang Jian, Jiang Yihe, and the others were shocked as if they had seen a ghost. Especially Jiang Jian. He thought that his sword art was superior and didn't put anyone in his eyes. However, he couldn't even see the trajectory of Lin Xian's sword. Impossible! This is impossible! That brat is only a half-step harmonious spirit warrior. How can his sword art be so good? I told you, if you want to be my lackey, you've found the wrong person. Lin Xian's voice was very cold. Brat, I want you dead. The young man with the saber had a ferocious expression. His left hand reached behind his back and pulled out a long purple saber. I've already been merciful with that sword. If you continue to be stubborn, don't blame me for being merciless. Lin Xian warned. At this moment, everyone was stunned. Their eyes almost popped out of their sockets. This brat must be hiding his cultivation. Otherwise, it's impossible for him to have such excellent sword art. At this moment, if they couldn't see Lin Xian's strength, then they wouldn't be able to live anymore. Lin Xian didn't plan to continue hiding. Sometimes, showing his strength was a way to solve problems. The spirit energy in his body circulated. The aura of a harmonious spirit warrior spread out. The whole sky was filled with sharp sword intent as if it would fall down at any moment. Everyone exclaimed. He really hid his cultivation. This was in line with their understanding. Otherwise, a half-step harmonious spirit warrior killing a late harmonious spirit warrior was too terrifying. I guess he must be a late harmonious spirit warrior. Otherwise, it's impossible for him to injure a late harmonious spirit warrior with one sword. You don't need to say that. Everyone was discussing. But soon, they were stunned again. Chapter 383. This is clearly an early harmonious spirit realm. Is he still hiding his strength? No, it doesn't seem like it. Why do I feel that he has just entered the harmonious spirit realm? Everyone's expression changed again. They realized that even though Lin Xian was not a half-step harmonious spirit realm expert, he was only an early harmonious spirit realm expert. It was impossible for an early harmonious spirit realm expert to injure a late harmonious spirit realm expert with a single slash. Just an early harmonious spirit realm expert. I was careless just now and only used 30% of my strength. Now I will let you know what a true expert is, Jiang Bei said coldly. So that's how it is. He was careless just now. Everyone felt relieved after hearing Jiang Bei's words. I told you, that kid can't be this abnormal. Everyone felt relieved and watched again. With the long saber in his hand, Jiang Bei's entire temperament changed. At this moment, he was like a wild saber, emitting a wild and tyrannical aura. Cold wind space splitting slash! The long saber slashed out, and an endless cold air rushed out. A 10-zhang long blue saber condensed in the air. It was like a 10,000 years old ice blade, quickly slashing down. Jiang Jian and the rest's expression changed and their bodies trembled continuously. The aura of the saber made them unable to resist. Even Jiang Yihe frowned. Even he didn't have a good way to deal with this attack. In a flash, the blue saber arrived above Lin Xian's head. However, Lin Xian acted as if he didn't see it and slowly pulled out the autumn scar. Swoosh! The sword slashed through the air. It seemed slow, but the sword aura arrived at Jiang Bei's head in an instant. Such a fast sword! Everyone's heart was beating wildly. Even though Lin Xian made his move later, the sword aura hit his opponent first. Puff! Jiang Bei's defense was like tofu, it was easily cut open. Blood spilled out again and Jiang Bei's body fell to the ground. At this moment, Lin Xian gently moved his body, leaving a string of afterimages in the air, and easily dodged the blue saber. How is this possible? Everyone was shocked and speechless for a long time. If Jiang Bei was injured because of his carelessness, then what was the reason this time? Jiang Bei had already used all of his strength, but he was still defeated. Moreover, he was defeated even more miserably. What did this mean? It meant that Lin Xian's strength far surpassed Jiang Bei's, which was why he could easily defeat him twice. His strength was too terrifying. Who exactly was he? Everyone in Golden City was confused. Jiang Jian was completely dumbfounded. That sword strike just now was too stunning. He did not have any reaction at all. Only when Jiang Bei fell to the ground did he react. If he were to face Lin Xian, he would have died long ago. A sense of helplessness rose in Jiang Jian's heart. He realized that his swordsmanship was nothing compared to Lin Xian's. Brat, how dare you injure him? The people of Cold Wind City were furious. Jiang Tianya shouted coldly. His entire body was like a goshawk as he quickly pounced over. Two gigantic blue ice palms appeared in the air and attacked Lin Xian from both sides. The surroundings quickly froze, and countless icicles formed in the ice, shooting towards Lin Xian like a rain of arrows. Lin Xian focused his mind and calmed his chi as he slashed out with his sword. Streaks of fine sword light flashed past everyone's hearts, followed by a terrifying sword intent. Everyone trembled as if their souls had been pierced by the sword. When they came back to their senses, they realized that the gigantic ice blue palms and the ice spikes in the sky had all shattered and scattered on the ground. Dragon counter step! Lin Xian's figure flashed and disappeared on the spot. When he appeared again, he was already on Jiang Tianya's left side. Flying rainbow! The broken sword stabbed diagonally. The materialized sword chi was like a rainbow as it collided with Jiang Tianya's protective barrier, emitting a clanging sound. Clang! 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 Jiang Tianya was indeed a veteran martial artist. His protective barrier was very thick, forcefully blocking this sword strike. However, this resistance only lasted for a moment before it was torn apart by the terrifying sword intent. Chi! Jiang Tianya was severely injured and his body flew out. Everyone was completely stunned. Another sword strike defeated the enemy. Even a veteran martial artist like Jiang Tianya was not spared. Elder! The disciples of Cold Wind City were pale as they quickly ran forward. In just a short moment, all the elders and genius disciples of their branch were severely injured. The white-robed youth, Jiang Hong, narrowed his eyes. It seems that I have indeed underestimated you. However, since you dared to injure people in the Jiang clan, you are dead meat. No one can save you! Jiang Hong planned to do it himself. He stepped out with a cold expression. Humph, no one can stop me if I want to leave, Lin Xian said in a deep voice. Is that so? You can try. Jiang Hong's voice was cold. He raised his palm and an aura that was even stronger than Jiang Tianya's overflowed. This aura made most of the people present tremble. As expected of a core disciple of Green Water Lake. You are indeed extraordinary. You are even stronger than the elders of the branch. Lin Xian flicked his finger. Then, the black cloak behind him fluttered and instantly turned into 3 identical figures that ran in 3 different directions. Everyone was stunned. They did not expect Lin Xian to have such a secret technique. Jiang Hong was also frowning, but he reacted in an instant. He waved his fist, forming a fist shadow the size of a house, and blasted toward the clone in the center. Boom! A terrifying energy exploded and waves of air rolled in the sky. The clone in the center was blasted into pieces and turned into a rain of light that scattered on the ground. No. Everyone was disappointed and looked into the distance. As expected of a core disciple. What a good move! The crowd exclaimed. They thought that Lin Xian would not be able to escape this time. It turned out that when Jiang Hong attacked the clone in the center, he had also mobilized the spiritual chi of heaven and earth to form a spiritual chi cage to block the other 2 clones. Let's see how you can escape! Looking at the clone struggling in the spiritual chi cage, Jiang Hong sneered. Whoosh! Suddenly, a terrifying sword whoop came from behind Jiang Hong. It was like an angry dragon roaring. At this critical moment, Jiang Hong could no longer care about his image. He shrank his body and rolled forward, dodging the terrifying attack. The sword chi brushed past the back of his head. If he was a second later, the sword chi would have pierced his head. After dodging this dangerous attack, Jiang Hong's face was as black as an iron pot. He turned around abruptly, and saw Lin Xian not far behind him. With the broken sword in his hand, Lin Xian stood proudly like a demon. I've said it before. If I want to leave, none of you can stop me. His domineering voice reverberated in the air. At this moment, no one dared to question Lin Xian. Even the powerful Jiang Hong was almost killed by a single sword strike. Who else could be Lin Xian's opponent? The third elder and the rest were shocked. They regretted it so much that their intestines turned green. Such a powerful young man must have a terrifying background. If they could befriend him, it would be a great benefit to their family. However, they had given up such an opportunity. They knew that they would never be able to cross paths with Lin Xian again in this life if they did not help him at the critical moment. Sure enough, Lin Xian did not even look at them when he left. Everyone looked at Lin Xian's back in shock. Since when did Longxing Nation have such a genius? Jiang Hong looked at the departing figure with a murderous look in his eyes. Chapter 384. He was almost killed just now. How could he be satisfied? But he was not confident that he could defeat Lin Xian now. If he went up recklessly, he might end up worse. So, he could only watch as Lin Xian left. Lin Xian left the Jiang clan and walked slowly on the streets of Black Feather City. He was thinking about his next path. He had fallen out with the Jiang clan and could not go back in a short time. Unless something special happened. But he did not regret it. Those people were fierce and wanted to kill him. If he did not resist, he would have been killed. I can't investigate openly. I can only investigate secretly. Lin Xian decided to find a chance to get close to the Jiang clan. But he would have to wait until after the Jiang clan meeting. Forget it. Let's find a place to stay first. Lin Xian walked toward the inn. Whoa, 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 the little white monkey suddenly made a sound. Its big eyes blinked and were unusually bright. Its furry paws scratched Lin Xian's hair. The little white monkey pointed in a direction and screamed. You mean there's something good there? Lin Xian asked. The little white monkey nodded and pointed at itself with its paws. It has something to do with you. The little monkey nodded excitedly and looked very eager. Okay. I got it. Let's go have a look. Since he had nothing to do, Lin Xian ran in the direction the little white monkey pointed. As he ran, there were fewer and fewer people on the street. Finally, he came to a deserted area. There were not many people on the street. The surrounding houses were very old and covered with dust. It seemed that no one had been here for a long time. Lin Xian looked around and found a villa in front of him. So, he walked over. The red door had become very dim, and was covered with cobwebs. He pushed the door open and entered. The air inside was somewhat stifling. The smell of dust was everywhere. Lin Xian was secretly alert. He slowly spread out his soul power to check the surroundings. There was no danger in the yard. He looked at the house in front and was about to move. Suddenly, he sensed two auras rapidly approaching. Frowning, Lin Xian's body flickered and he brought the little monkey to hide. Just as he hid himself, two figures quickly landed in the courtyard. Lin Xian used the black cloak's concealment ability and concealed his aura. Then, he used his eye technique to sneak a peek. He saw two figures standing in the courtyard. One of them was a beautiful figure wearing a white dress. Her face was covered by a veil, so he couldn't see her face clearly. However, based on his intuition, Lin Xian knew that this woman must be very beautiful. Beside her was a 5-colored peacock. The colorful feathers were like rainbows, extremely beautiful. However, the peacock was very anxious, as if something was attracting it. Lin Xian was greatly astonished that there was something here that had actually attracted two strange beasts. The multicolored peacock and the snow-white monkey were not ordinary demonic beasts. Something that could make them so excited was definitely not ordinary. The snow-white monkey blinked its black gem-like eyes and looked at Lin Xian pitifully. "Don't worry, you'll definitely get it." Lin Xian patted its head and comforted it. The beautiful white figure and the multicolored peacock also looked around cautiously. After making sure that there was no one around, they walked into the house. Lin Xian didn't act rashly. He planned to change his position and continue to investigate. At this moment, a cry of surprise came from inside the house. Lin Xian was surprised and quickly spread out his senses. Soon, the white figure and the multicolored peacock retreated into the courtyard. The two of them looked into the house nervously, as if they were very afraid of the person inside. "Kiki!" A strange cry came. Then, a figure as red as fire appeared in the courtyard. That person wore a red robe with a three-headed bird embroidered on it. It was very strange. "Since you're already here, why leave?" The voice was faint. "Humph, pretending to be mysterious." The beautiful woman in white snorted. "This peacock is not bad. I'll leave it here." The robe on his body emitted a light, and a red head appeared in front of him. Boom! The head of the strange bird the size of a house opened its mouth and spat out a huge fireball. Like a falling meteor, it burned continuously and quickly rushed towards the multicolored peacock. "Humph!" The woman in white snorted and took out a hexagonal ancient mirror. She activated her spiritual power and shone it in front of her. Suddenly, a white light shot out and rushed towards the huge fireball. The air trembled. The white light was like a sharp divine spear, and instantly shattered the red fireball. However, the shattered flames quickly changed in the air and rushed towards the multicolored peacock like a rain of fire. The multicolored peacock raised its head proudly. The feathers on its back fluttered, and a green curtain of light appeared. Sizzle! Like ice melting, the flames were quickly extinguished. Seeing this, the multicolored peacock chirped in disdain. "Not bad, it's a mutant peacock. Maybe it'll like it." The man in the red robe laughed sinisterly. He waved his sleeve and swept it downwards. The surrounding spiritual energy trembled, and a strange bird with a red body appeared on the ground. The bird had 3 heads, but the eyes on the 2 sides were closed as if they were sleeping. Only the head in the middle was abnormally awake. Its eyes were like rubies. "What kind of strange bird is this?" Lin Xian was surprised. 3-headed vermilion blood bird. I didn't expect to see such a thing here. Lord Alcohol was also surprised. "Is it very powerful?" Lin Xian asked. "It's more than powerful. It's terrifying. An adult 3-headed vermilion blood bird can swallow a spirit-detecting expert in one gulp. And an adult 3-headed vermilion blood bird has the ability to destroy the world. Swallow a spirit-detecting expert in one gulp!" Lin Xian was shocked. The most powerful warrior he had seen so far was a spirit-detecting expert. A person who could make an entire country submit to him was definitely terrifying. However, such an expert was only food for the 3-headed vermilion blood bird. One could imagine how terrifying the 3-headed vermilion blood bird was. "So what?" Lord Alcohol snorted. "Legend has it that this bird is related to the netherworld. Its 3 heads represent the 3 attributes of fire, wind, and lightning. An adult 3-headed vermilion blood bird can reach the strength of a supremacy without cultivating." "What a monster!" Lin Xian exclaimed. "However, although the 3-headed vermilion blood bird is powerful, it's not easy for it to grow. Not only does it require a large amount of wind, fire, and lightning attribute resources, but it also needs the blood of other demon beasts to temper it. It can only reach adulthood after 100 years. That's more like it." Lin Xian heaved a sigh of relief when he heard the harsh conditions. This person has a 3-headed vermilion blood bird. Could it be that he deliberately lured people here so that he can devour their blood essence? Lin Xian became vigilant. In the courtyard, when the 3-headed vermilion blood bird appeared, the 5-colored peacock showed extreme unease. Its body emitted a green glow, forming a thick defense. "Kiki, be obedient and become its food," the red-robed man said. Just as he was about to make a move, another powerful aura rapidly approached the courtyard. The white-robed woman turned her head with a cautious expression. The red-robed man was overjoyed. A man in bronze armor landed in the courtyard. Chapter 385. A powerful aura surrounded him, forming a strong gust of wind that blew everything around him away. Beside him was a majestic lion whose entire body was suffused with a golden color. Furthermore, there was a fine line on the golden lion's forehead that looked like a closed eye. "Hee, another one has come. It seems like today's food is very sumptuous." The red-robed man's voice floated, filled with joy. "Humph." The azure-armored man frowned slightly and said coldly, "Were you the one who lured us here?" "Not you, but them." The red-robed man pointed at the 5-colored peacock and the golden lion. "Roar!" The golden lion let out a low roar as if it would pounce at any moment. The azure-armored man patted the golden lion's head, warning it not to act rashly. Suddenly, the golden lion revealed a puzzled look. The third vertical line on its forehead emitted a faint light that quickly swept in all directions. Finally, it locked onto a direction and roared again. In the courtyard, the white-robed woman and the red-robed man were also surprised as they looked in that direction. "Who is it? Get out here!" The azure-armored man snorted and waved his hand. The surrounding spiritual energy gathered to form a blood-colored spear. Following that, the blood-colored spear turned into an afterimage in the air as it quickly pierced forward. Boom! The stone pillar in front was instantly pierced as the terrifying energy blasted everything apart. A black figure gently landed on the ground. The white-robed woman and the red-robed man's expressions changed. They had been here for a long time, but they hadn't noticed anyone beside them. The red-robed man was even more shocked. His strength was extraordinary, and his cultivation had reached the spirit transformation realm. However, he still hadn't noticed someone else hiding beside him. Immediately, the 3 people and 3 beasts all looked at that person. It was a delicate youth of 17 or 18 years old. He was dressed in black and had a sharp look in his eyes. A snow-white monkey sat on his shoulder, looking exceptionally cute. This person was none other than Lin Xian, who was also extremely shocked. He had hidden himself very well, and even spirit transformation realm experts couldn't discover him. However, for some reason, he was discovered by the golden lion. "That lion is also a natural mutant. Legend has it that the third eye on its forehead can see through everything. Although he hasn't matured yet, his vigilance surpasses that of a spirit transformation realm cultivator," Lord Alcohol transmitted. "So that's how it is. I didn't expect there to be such a mystical Yao beast," Lin Xian exclaimed. "Who are you? Why are you hiding there?" the green-armored man asked in a deep voice. "Just like you guys, I was lured here by this person," Lin Xian shrugged and explained. Would you, the little white monkey nodded and made a funny face at the crowd. At this moment, the 3 of them finally noticed the snow-white monkey on Lin Xian's shoulder. However, other than being cute, there didn't seem to be anything special about the little monkey. "So weak, what a useless monkey!" the red-robed man snorted. He didn't sense the little white monkey's abnormality, and immediately snorted disdainfully. What he needed was a mutated beast, or a beast with powerful blood essence. Only then could his 3-headed vermilion blood bird evolve. When the snow-white monkey heard this, it immediately became unhappy. It bared its teeth and glared at the red-robed man, then gestured. The white-robed woman and the green-armored man revealed strange expressions. They easily understood what the little white monkey was trying to say. The little monkey seemed to be saying that it was unique and that the red-robed man was blind and couldn't tell what was good. "What a clever little monkey! It seems like it's not ordinary either," the white-robed woman said softly. The little white monkey nodded in agreement. "Humph, you're courting death," the red-robed man coldly shouted. "No matter what, these 3 beasts are mine." A powerful aura suddenly rose from his body like a sea of blood. It was terrifying and monstrous. You want our companions? Dream on! The white-robed woman snorted. The green-armored man also revealed a trace of killing intent. You want our beasts? You sure talk big. Everyone, be careful. For the three-headed vermilion blood bird to grow, it needs the blood essence of other mutated beasts. That's why he lured us here, so that the strange bird can eat other beasts. Lin Xian exposed the red-robed man's trick. I didn't expect you to know the three-headed vermilion blood bird. The red-robed man was surprised. So what if I know it? He sneered. Since the three of you are here, don't even think about leaving. You think you can stop me? The light-armored man smiled disdainfully. The spirit energy on his body condensed into a long spear, as if it could see through the heaven and earth. Late harmonious spirit realm! Lin Xian's eyes flashed. This aura was much stronger than Jiang Hong's. Just me! The red-robed man shouted in a low voice. His body emitted an even stronger aura. Spirit transformation realm! The white-robed woman exclaimed. The gap between the harmonious spirit realm and the spirit transformation realm was like an insurmountable gap. They were only harmonious spirit realm warriors, so they couldn't win against the spirit transformation realm warrior. Lin Xian was also shocked. He didn't expect the red-robed man to hide his strength. He didn't even sense it. The green-armored man's expression also changed. He stared at the red-robed man cautiously. Facing a spirit transformation realm warrior, he could only choose to retreat. Lin Xian and the others had the same idea. The three of them quickly left in three different directions. Do you think you can escape? The red-robed man roared. His palms were constantly changing seals. Suddenly, countless blood-red waves appeared around the courtyard, forming a sea of blood that sealed everyone inside. Damn it, it's a formation! The man from the Qing family shouted angrily. He punched out with a force that could split a mountain. However, when the force hit the sea of blood, it only caused a few ripples. Don't waste your energy. You can't escape. Hand over the demonic beast and I'll give you a quick death. Otherwise, you will suffer endless torture. The red-robed man's voice was cold, as if it came from hell. Lord Alcohol, can you break it? Lin Xian asked through voice transmission. He was also obstructed. In my current state, I'm afraid it will take me some time to find it, Lord Alcohol said. Lin Xian nodded. He was prepared to stall for time. The two of you, we can only work together now, Lin Xian said. The white-robed woman and the green-armored man nodded. Both of them wanted to work together. You want to fight me with just the two of you? The red-robed man sneered. The gap between the spirit transformation realm and the harmonious spirit realm was not small. This was common knowledge that everyone knew. Today, 3 harmonious spirit realm warriors dared to attack him. They were undoubtedly courting death. Moreover, there was an early harmonious spirit realm brat among them. Since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. After speaking, the red-robed man turned into a blood-red shadow and rushed toward Lin Xian. Not good! The white-robed woman and the green-armored man's expression changed. Among the three, Lin Xian's cultivation was the lowest. Now that the red-robed man took the initiative to attack Lin Xian wouldn't be able to escape. Chapter 386. In a moment of desperation, the two of them could only throw out a few attacks in an attempt to restrain the red-robed man. However, the red-robed man ignored their attacks because of his powerful cultivation. He quickly rushed toward Lin Xian. With a slap, a blood-red palm appeared in the sky with a pungent smell of blood. Lin Xian squinted his eyes. The great dragon sword in his body surged, ready to attack at any moment. The other two were late harmonious spirit realm while he was only early harmonious spirit realm. Naturally, the red-robed man thought that he was the weakest. However, if someone really thought so, then they were gravely mistaken. Lin Xian could see that the red-robed man did not use his full strength in this slap. His eyes flashed as he found a flaw in the attack and stabbed out with his sword. The longsword was like a dragon. A terrifying sword intent gushed out like an angry dragon roaring, causing people's hearts to tremble. Puff! The thick sea of blood was split open and scattered to the sides. The huge blood-red palm in the sky was also pierced with a terrifying sword mark. The great dragon sword intent was crazily destroying everything. Clang! The broken autumn scar sword hit the red-robed man's palm, creating countless sparks. Waves of energy quickly spread out in all directions. Lin Xian felt a strong impact. He quickly used the silver lightning body to resist this force. Chi-chi! His body slid a dozen meters away before stopping. The red-robed man was also surprised. Although that sword strike didn't injure him, it caused his palm to ache faintly. An early harmonious spirit realm brat was able to make him feel pain. This was impossible. In the distance, the white-robed woman and the middle-aged man were shocked. Lin Xian's strength was beyond their expectations. That attack just now, even they could not do better than Lin Xian. It seemed like there was a great chance for him to escape this time. The green-armored man clenched his fist. Interesting. It seems like I have underestimated you. The red-robed man slowly turned his palm and said. Lin Xian's heart sank. The terrifying attack just now did not hurt the red-robed man. This gave him a new understanding of spirit transformation realm warriors. Of course, he didn't use his full strength in that strike. At least, he only used 50% of his 70% sword intent. What a shocking sword intent! It seems like it's around 50%. If I let you continue to grow, you'll be in danger. The red-robed man's eyes were gloomy. I love killing geniuses like you the most. Attack together! The azure-armored man shouted. A long spear appeared in his hand, and his aura erupted like a flash flood. The spear pierced out like a dragon emerging from the sea with a majestic momentum. On the other side, the white-clothed woman activated the ancient mirror in her hand with all her strength, shooting out a white light beam that was as thick as a mountain. Lin Xian activated his 50% sword intent, and sword chi swept out in all directions. Every sword strike contained a powerful killing intent. The long spear, the ancient mirror, and the sword chi quickly rushed towards the red-robed man in the center. Boundless blood sea! The red-robed man raised his hands to the sky, and a red ball of energy appeared on his body, and quickly spread out. Boom! Crimson waves of blood surged, and all the attacks that hit them were quickly dissolved. Within the blood sea, arc-shaped ripples appeared, forming a powerful suction force that seemed to want to devour people. Lin Xian used the dragon rebel step, and his figure was like a ghost as he quickly dodged. However, the blood sea seemed to have no boundaries, and it chased after him without letting him go. Wind Slayer! He used his eye technique to find the weak point, and the sword chi that was like a storm tore open a crack. In the other two directions, the white-clothed woman and azure-armored man also narrowly avoided the attacks. No, he's too strong! The white-clothed woman's face was slightly pale. That attack just now was just a casual attack from the red-robed man, and the three of them had to use all their strength to dodge it. It couldn't be helped. Although the spirit transformation realm and the harmonious spirit realm only had a difference of one word, the gap between them was huge. After entering the spirit transformation realm, the harmonious spirit realm couldn't compare with the heaven and earth spiritual energy. Try this move, Spirit Transformation Blood Sea! The red-robed man seemed to be toying with the three of them. He waved his hand, and red spiritual energy shot out. Suddenly, countless demonic beasts appeared in the blood sea. They had all kinds of forms, and they were ferocious and terrifying. Boom! A 300-meter-long blood python rushed toward the white-clothed woman with terrifying winds and clouds. A giant elephant as big as a mountain rushed toward the azure-armored man. A four-armed demonic bear that was more than 10 meters tall charged toward Lin Xian. The scene was terrifying, as if a real demonic beast had been reborn. This was the ability of the spirit transformation realm. They could use their own spiritual energy to transform into the form of other demonic beasts, unlike the harmonious spirit realm, who could only squander their spiritual energy. These should be the demonic beasts he killed before, Lord Alcohol said. What? Lin Xian was shocked. So many powerful demonic beasts, and they're all killed. He was on full alert, not daring to be careless. A great battle broke out, and the sky was filled with dazzling lights. The four-armed demonic bear's every attack was comparable to a late harmonious spirit realm warrior. It could be said that its strength was boundless. An ordinary harmonious spirit realm warrior would have been killed long ago. Lin Xian relied on his nimble movement technique to contend with it. At this moment, the power of the art of longevity was finally displayed. This mysterious cultivation technique that he had been cultivating since the beginning was now displaying its formidable power. Under the circulation of the art of longevity, Lin Xian felt that his absorption of spiritual energy in the surroundings had increased. This speed was far from what a harmonious spirit realm warrior could achieve. After entering the harmonious spirit realm, the quality of one's cultivation technique was reflected in the absorption of spiritual energy. The faster the absorption, not only could the warrior maintain a powerful combat strength, but the power contained in each attack would also increase. This unknowingly increased the warrior's combat strength. Normally, a warrior with a higher cultivation technique would be able to crush a warrior with a lower cultivation technique. However, Lin Xian's art of longevity was something that even an earth-rank cultivation technique couldn't compare to. Boom! With a slash of his sword, the green sword Qi transformed into a ferocious dragon that coiled around the four-armed demonic bear. Transformation! The red-robed man was shocked. No, this isn't a transformation technique of a spirit transformation realm warrior. Perhaps it's a special martial technique. The red-robed man shook his head, but the power of his attack still shocked him. Although Lin Xian's cultivation was the lowest among the three, it seemed that his strength was the most terrifying. The white-robed woman and the green-armored man were only evenly matched with the blood-sea demonic bear, but Lin Xian was able to suppress it. Not only did Lin Xian possess a mystical cultivation technique like the art of longevity, but he also mastered an offensive saint art like the great dragon sword seal. In the eyes of outsiders, it was simply a technique of a spirit transformation realm warrior. The green dragon coiled around the four-armed demonic bear, preventing it from moving. Lin Xian jumped up and quickly swung his azure cloud sword technique. The cloud-slashing sword Qi was incomparably ethereal. A fine sword flew out like a white cloud. Puff! 2 heavenly pillar-like arms were chopped off and fell into the blood sea, stirring up thousands of waves. Sudden thunder! In the sky above, silver lightning fell, forming a 6-pointed formation, and suddenly crashed down. Roar! The blood sea demonic bear was struck by the lightning, and its bloody body quickly melted. It was originally formed by blood Qi, so it was innately afraid of lightning. In a flash, the huge demonic bear turned into a pool of blood. Humph! The red-robed man snorted and withdrew the blood sea demonic bear. The white-robed woman and the green-armored man heaved a sigh of relief and looked at Lin Xian in surprise. Chapter 387. They had seen Lin Xian's performance just now, and it was indeed shocking. However, although they were shocked, they didn't feel inferior. They also had their own trump cards. What are you up to now? Lin Xian asked in a deep voice. It's easy to kill you, but before that, I'll let you watch a good show. The red-robed man laughed sinisterly. Then, the 3-headed vermilion blood bird beside him walked out. Kiki, it's time to eat. The 3-headed vermilion blood bird let out an excited cry. The head in the middle kept turning, and its body emitted a fiery red glow. He first set his eyes on the 5-colored peacock. The spirit energy in the surroundings surged and quickly formed a huge fireball. This strange bird can control the spirit energy of heaven and earth. It's indeed powerful. Lin Xian frowned slightly. A red light flashed, and the fireball in the sky rushed toward the 5-colored peacock with a terrifying heat wave. How dare you! The white-robed beauty struck out with her palm, sending the fireball flying. The 3-headed vermilion blood bird let out an angry cry. Its wings flapped rapidly, forming endless flames, If you don't want to die immediately, stay here until you die of old age. The red-robed man stomped his foot, forming a blood-red prison that pressed down on the white-robed woman. The white-robed woman struggled with all her might, but she couldn't break free. Now, enjoy it. Lin Xian was silent. The red-robed man's action was obviously to train the three-headed vermilion blood bird. However, this gave Lin Xian an opportunity. Lord Jiu could use this opportunity to find a flaw in the formation. As long as they found it, they would be able to escape with their strength. The three-headed vermilion blood bird spread its wings and flew in circles in the sky like a ball of burning flame. With an ear-piercing cry, it turned into a fiery red light and rushed down. Beside it were fireballs that looked like a rain of fire. Perhaps a harmonious spirit realm warrior wouldn't be able to withstand such power. The five-colored peacock emitted a green glow, forming a natural barrier in front of it, blocking all the fireballs. At the same time, the feathers on its body were like heavenly eyes, shooting out dark green light. Buzz! 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 Like thousands of divine spears in the sky, the attack was enough to kill an ordinary harmonious spirit realm warrior 1,000 times over. Crack! The three vermilion blood birds were as fast as lightning. Their sharp claws were comparable to precious weapons as they tore through the void. Lin Xian was surprised. These two demonic beasts were much stronger than ordinary harmonious spirit realm warriors. He couldn't help but worry about the little white monkey. He never knew what the monkey's bottom line was, and he didn't know if the little white monkey could withstand the attack of the three-headed vermilion blood bird. However, the snow-white little monkey's face was filled with excitement. There was no trace of fear on its face. It seemed to have sensed Lin Xian's emotions and patted Lin Xian's shoulder with its furry little paw, looking as if it could do it. Lin Xian was so angry that he laughed. He rubbed the little white monkey's head and continued to watch the battle. In the sky, the two strange beasts turned into two streaks of red and green light. They kept colliding, creating countless sparks in the sky. In the end, the three crimson blood birds spat out a palm-sized purple flame, which pierced through the five-colored peacock's green barrier. As soon as the flames appeared, the void distorted. Plop! The five-colored peacock fell beside the white-robed woman, its body trembling non-stop. Clearly, it was severely injured. Ainen! The white-robed woman cried out in alarm. She struggled to break free and quickly held the five-colored peacock tightly. Fortunately, the five-colored peacock was only burned. Its life was not in danger. The white-robed woman sighed. She knew that it wasn't because the five-colored peacock was weak, but because it hadn't fully matured yet. A fully matured five-colored peacock could unleash five-colored divine light that could wipe out everything in the world. As for the one in her hand, it could only unleash one type of divine light. After defeating the five-colored peacock, the three crimson blood birds set their eyes on the golden lion. Roar! The golden lion roared. It leaped and arrived in front of the three crimson blood birds in a flash. Its sharp claws were even scarier than the sword energy and blade light. It directly grabbed the head of the beast. Swoosh! The three crimson blood birds turned into a streak of flame and nimbly dodged the attack. Boom! The ground cracked, creating a terrifying crack that spread into the distance. A fiery red light flashed. The three crimson blood birds spread their wings and dived down. Under its control, the purple flame appeared in the sky again. The void distorted. A flame that could kill a late harmonious spirit realm expert flew toward the golden lion. Lin Xian could feel the terrifying heat from afar. He was afraid that even his silver lightning body might not be able to withstand it. As expected of a legendary demonic beast, it has such strength at such a young age. How enviable! Lin Xian took a deep breath and asked through voice transmission. Lord Alcohol, have you found a flaw? It will take some time. I can only rely on your soul force to sense it. The efficiency is very low, Lord Alcohol explained. Lin Xian could only wait patiently. He looked at the courtyard again. The golden lion remained motionless. The moment the purple flame fell, it quickly leaped to the side. Boom! A terrifying crater appeared in the ground. The bottom couldn't be seen. The golden lion's body emitted a golden light. The vertical lines on its forehead emitted endless light. A heart-palpitating force appeared out of thin air. An illusory door appeared behind it. It was pitch black, like the door to hell. Could this lion be? The red-robed man looked at the pitch-black door. A trace of shock appeared on his face. He seemed to have thought of something, but he wasn't sure. Impossible. How could such a demonic beast appear here? Perhaps it's just its descendant. The red-robed man denied the idea in his heart. He believed that it was just the descendant of an ancient demonic beast. Although it had the power of bloodline, it wasn't strong. Even so, its power was enough to kill any harmonious spirit realm expert. The three-headed vermilion blood bird looked cautious. Its fiery red eyes stared at the door. Its two heads trembled slightly as if they were about to wake up. The vertical lines on the golden lion's forehead emitted a dazzling light as if they were about to open at any moment. The pitch-black door behind it was also trying hard to open. The green-armored man was nervous. The golden lion hadn't matured yet. If it rashly activated its third eye, there would be terrible consequences. On the other side, the red-robed man didn't want the other two heads to wake up too early. Therefore, he quickly stopped the battle. The green-armored man let out a sigh of relief and called back the golden lion. The three-headed crimson blood bird also let out a low cry with dissatisfaction. However, it did not continue to fight with the golden lion. It turned its head and looked at the little white monkey. This time, a hint of disdain could be seen in its eyes. The other two also looked at the little white monkey with worry in their eyes. In their opinion, the snow-white monkey didn't show any signs of abnormality. It probably couldn't withstand the attack of the three-headed vermilion blood bird. The little white monkey, on the other hand, had an excited look on its face as it waved its furry little paws and performed its self-created monkey fist. With a stomp of its feet, it flew out like a snowball. The three-headed vermilion blood bird let out a dissatisfied cry and opened its mouth to spit out a red fireball. The speed of the fireball was so fast that even a harmonious spirit realm warrior would not be able to dodge it. Chapter 388. However, Snow White Little Who made a face in the air, and then slowly dodged. Whoosh! The little monkey disappeared into thin air and reappeared in front of the three-headed vermilion bird. Boom! Its furry paw slapped the three-headed vermilion bird's head. The head in the middle was stunned and felt dizzy for a moment. Woodgie woodgie! The little white monkey jumped up and kicked the three-headed vermilion bird away. The woman in white and the man in light armor were stunned. They stared at the little white monkey and couldn't calm down for a long time. The red-robed man's face darkened and there was a trace of murderous intent in his eyes. Lin Xian was also surprised. He didn't expect the little white monkey to be so powerful. Puff! Puff! The three-headed vermilion bird got up from the ground and kept flapping its wings. Its red eyes were cold. The three-headed vermilion bird was covered in purple flames. It was full of dangerous aura. Even now, its head was still in a daze, which was a disgrace to it. On the other side, the little white monkey stretched out its furry paw and waved its paw provocatively. Boom! The three-headed vermilion bird exploded and unleashed purple flames that covered the sky. However, the little white monkey was very fast. It was like a bolt of white lightning and could easily dodge the purple flames every time. The azure-armored man and the woman in white were shocked. They didn't think the little white monkey would win, but its performance was amazing. Not only was it not injured, but it even suppressed the three-headed vermilion bird. Is this little monkey also a kind of ancient beast? The two of them were surprised. The five-colored peacock and the golden lion beside them looked at the little white monkey with a hint of fear in their eyes. The red-robed man's face darkened. His three-headed vermilion bird was frighteningly big. Warriors under the spirit transformation realm were no match for it. Ordinary beasts were no match for it. However, this ancient strange bird was being played by a little monkey of unknown origin. It was hard for him to accept. Damn it, what the hell is that monkey? How can it be so powerful? In the courtyard, the three-headed crimson blood bird was completely enraged. Not only did it fail to hurt the little white monkey, it was knocked out again. Its wings flapped, and the left side of its head trembled rapidly. The red eyelid of the head that had been sleeping for a long time seemed to twitch. Suddenly, in the purple sea of fire, the sound of thunder appeared out of nowhere, and purple lightning vaguely appeared. "Are they about to open?" The white-robed woman and the azure-armored man both felt a tremor coming from their souls. Lin Xian's face darkened slightly. He also felt the terror of the stimulating lightning, which was even stronger than his own silver lightning. The snow-white little Marquis seemed to have sensed danger. His pitch-black eyes seemed to have turned into two black holes, rapidly spinning. An aura that was even more terrifying than the purple lightning emanated from its body. Everyone present was stunned. The red-robed man's expression was extremely unsightly because that power was enough to threaten his life. The great dragon sword intent in Lin Xian's body surged and quickly eliminated the pressure. "Where did this monkey come from?" Lin Xian was very curious. In the distance, the red-robed man was alarmed. He didn't dare let the three-headed crimson blood bird continue fighting. At that moment, Lord Alcohol also found a flaw in the array formation. "Little White, come back!" Lin Xian softly shouted. The little monkey's body trembled as it revealed a look of confusion. The two black vortexes in its eyes quickly disappeared. It quickly regained its lively expression. "I've found the exit of the array formation. Please follow me." Lin Xian quickly transmitted his voice. The white-robed woman withdrew her five-colored peacock and ran towards Lin Xian with the azure-armored man. The three of them ran towards a corner in the southwest direction. "Junior, how dare you!" The red-robed man was enraged. That was the flaw in his array formation. However, this flaw was very well hidden. Even a spirit transformation realm expert might not be able to find it. How did these three discover it? Could it be luck? The red-robed man couldn't think of any other reason, but even if it was luck, he wouldn't allow the three of them to leave. He once again unleashed a monstrous sea of blood. Countless terrifying blood-sea demonic beasts charged towards Lin Xian and company. As for the red-robed man himself, he quickly rushed over. "Don't hold back anymore, or you'll really die!" Lin Xian shouted as he brandished the broken sword in his hand, drawing an indescribable trajectory in the air. Suddenly, the clouds in the sky churned as a huge and simple longsword quickly appeared in the sky. "This aura is so terrifying!" The white-robed woman and azure-armored man's pupils constricted as they looked at Lin Xian in horror. They realized that this was Lin Xian's true strength. "Open!" Seeing the red-robed man's speed, the azure-armored man no longer held back. He held a spear in his right hand and summoned a blood-colored flag out of thin air with his left hand. It fluttered in the air. Suddenly, a terrifying pressure appeared around him as if the entire world was being stared at. "The Great Flag Sect!" the white-robed woman exclaimed. The red-robed man in the distance also revealed a look of shock. The Great Flag Sect was as famous as the Dragon Elephant Sect. It was also one of the top 6 factions in the Rising Dragon Nation. Lin Xian quickly recalled this information. He did not expect the azure-armored man to be from the Great Flag Sect. "Even if you are from the Great Flag Sect, don't even think about leaving!" After the red-robed man recovered from his shock, a strong killing intent appeared in his eyes again. The blood sea around them became even more real. The heavy waves made the three of them tremble. The white-robed woman did not care about hiding her strength and activated the energy in her body with all her might. Behind her, a blurry shadow appeared. It was holding a crystal jade bottle that emitted endless radiance. "This is the bloodline of the Jiang clan!" The red-robed man was shocked again. "Jiang clan?" Lin Xian was also shocked. He did not expect the white-robed woman to be from the Jiang clan. Moreover, the Jiang clan seemed to have a mysterious bloodline power. It seemed that these factions were not simple. After Lin Xian defeated Jiang Hong, he did not put the Jiang clan's disciples in his eyes. At this moment, it seemed that he was too rash. The Jiang clan clearly had a terrifying bloodline power. It was just that he had not encountered it yet. In the sky, the huge and simple longsword rumbled as it slashed down with an aura that could shatter mountains and rivers. The blurry shadow behind the white-robed woman also shot out a silvery waterfall and rushed forward. In the sky, the azure-armored man held the blood-red flag and stirred up the heaven and earth. These three forces had almost exceeded the limit of a harmonious spirit realm warrior. Even the red-robed man, who was a spirit transformation realm warrior, felt his heart tremble at this moment. If it was only one of the attacks, he was confident that he could break it open. Even if there were two, he was not afraid. However, all three of the attacks were so terrifying that they put him in an extremely dangerous situation. "Break for me!" He quickly put away the three crimson blood birds and merged the blood sea that filled the sky into his body. Layers of demonic red ripples surged out from his body and formed an indescribable force that protected him. Lin Xian and the other two could not care less about the red-robed man. If the energy in the courtyard exploded, they would be dead for sure. However, the snow-white little monkey disappeared with a whoosh. "This is the breakthrough point. Attack with all your might," Lin Xian quickly said. Chapter 389. The broken sword pierced out, bringing with it a shocking sword will. "Wind Emperor's sword!" Crack! 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 The autumn scar broken sword had just used the gale lightning sword, and now it had to endure the terrifying sword will. Finally, it could not hold on any longer and shattered. However, Lin Xian used his arm as a substitute for a sword and still unleashed a terrifying attack. The other two also unleashed powerful attacks, and finally tore apart the array defense before the energy explosion. Whoosh! The little white monkey quickly returned like a bolt of lightning and went back into the storage ring. The red-robed man's angry yell came from behind. I'm going to kill you all! Let's go!" The three of them turned into rays of light and quickly left the place. Lin Xian and the other two tore apart the array defense, turned into a bolt of lightning, and quickly left the place. Not long after they left, an earth-shaking roar came from the courtyard. Rows of air waves quickly spread out, and a dark mushroom cloud rushed into the sky. The shockwave immediately alerted all the elites in Blackfeather City, and many of them spread out their divine senses to see what was going on. However, these people did not find anything, because the entire courtyard was blown into a deep abyss that was almost 100 meters deep, and there were no clues left. On a quiet street 1,000 meters away from the dilapidated courtyard, a mysterious red-robed man staggered as he leaned against the wall, his eyes fixed on the sky. "Damn it, the three of you, I'll remember this!" The red-robed man's voice was cold and filled with murderous intent. "And that damn monkey, I'll tear you into pieces!" He was so angry that he gritted his teeth. It was at the last moment that the snow-white monkey stole his 1,000-beast fruit. That fruit was extremely precious, and it was something he used to attract other monsters. Now that it was stolen by the little white monkey, how could he not be angry? However, with his current identity and condition, he could not track it, so he could only give up. For him, the most important thing now was to heal his injuries. Lin Xian and the other two's terrifying attacks were powerful, causing him to suffer heavy internal injuries. If he did not have a secret technique to escape, he would have died here today. His body turned into a blood-red ray, and the red-robed man quickly left Blackfeather City. Lin Xian and the other two finally arrived at a safe place and breathed a sigh of relief. "Nice to meet the two of you. I am Yi Qianxing," the azure-armored man said. Lin Xian. Jiang Yuding. The three of them got to know each other. "Brother Lin, Miss Jiang, I still have something to do. I'll take my leave first." The green-armored man quickly left. Lin Xian was just thinking about how to deal with this genius girl of the Jiang family. Suddenly, Jiang Yuding's face changed, revealing a very anxious expression. "NN!" she exclaimed and quickly summoned the multicolored peacock from the demonic beast pouch. With a flash of light, the 5-colored peacock appeared on the ground. At this moment, it was not in a good state. Its originally bright feathers had become pitch black, and its eyes were dim without a trace of light. What was even more serious was that there was an inextinguishable purple flame in his body that was currently tormenting his body. And how are you?" Jian Yuding asked anxiously. She could also feel the purple flames inside the peacock's body, but she didn't know what to do. The peacock had grown up with her and could be considered her good friend. Furthermore, the five-colored peacock was an ancient mutated species that was abnormally precious. Regardless of the reason, Jian Yuding did not wish for anything to happen to the five-colored peacock. However, the more anxious she was, the more serious the five-colored peacock's injuries became. In the end, Jian Yuding burst into tears. Looking at the crying Jian Yuding and the five-colored peacock lying on the ground in abnormally terrible pain, Lin Xian rubbed his nose helplessly. "Lord Alcohol, do you have a solution?" Lin Xian asked with a voice transmission. "Who am I?" "Of course I have a solution," Lord Alcohol snorted coldly. "However, this purple flame is extremely strange. Furthermore, it has an inextinguishable aura, so it's rather troublesome to deal with." "It's good that you have a solution." Lin Xian felt relieved. "Well, I might have a way to treat it," Lin Xian said to Jian Yuding. "Really? Do you really have a solution?" Jian Yuding looked up. Crystal clear teardrops still hung on her beautiful face, making her look very pitiful. Lin Xian was slightly taken aback. She was indeed a beauty. She looked so beautiful even when she cried. Taking a deep breath, he nodded silently. "That's great. Hurry up and treat it." Jian Yuding suddenly stood up and grabbed Lin Xian's hand tightly. "Don't be agitated. Let me examine it carefully," Lin Xian said with a smile as he felt the strange warmth coming from his hand. "Oh." Jian Yuding calmed down and realized that she was still holding Lin Xian's hand. She immediately blushed and quickly retracted her hand. Lin Xian smiled and did not expose her. Instead, he slowly squatted down and stroked the five-colored peacock's feathers. His robust soul power slowly spread out. While he was doing so, Lord Alcohol could also sense everything through his soul power. As expected of a three-headed vermilion blood bird, this flame has a trace of destructive aura. Any other demonic beast would have died long ago. Even a Class 7 demonic beast wouldn't be able to withstand this power. Thankfully, this five-colored peacock is also an ancient mutated species. Its bloodline is extremely powerful, so it can withstand it. However, it's still too young. Some of its potential hasn't been stimulated. If too much time passes, it might leave behind serious injuries. When that happens, its growth potential will probably reach its limit. Hee, Lord Alcohol, don't we have you? No matter how serious the injuries are, as long as you take action, it'll be easy," Lin Xian said with a smile. "Humph, this flattery feels good. Say a few more." Lord Nine snorted. Lin Xian rolled his eyes. He began asking for a way to save it. To treat this peacock, we have to first remove the purple flames in its body. Then, we have to use pills to nurse it back to health. Therefore, the most important thing is how to remove the purple flames, said Lord Alcohol. "How do we remove it?" Lin Xian asked. "To remove the flames, we have to use items of extreme cold. However, you don't need to use such things. Your sword intent is based on the Great Dragon Sword seal, so it can extinguish the purple flames in this peacock's body. However, you have to be careful when using your sword intent. You mustn't harm it at all." After receiving the answer, Lin Xian slowly stood up. "It can be treated, but we have to bring it to a safe place first." Jian Yuding nodded. She knew that the treatment process wouldn't be easy, so she couldn't be disturbed. "Follow me. My house is nearby." Jian Yuding put away the five-colored peacock and quickly ran with Lin Xian. Soon, the two of them arrived at the Jiang family residence. Looking at the majestic and domineering door, Lin Xian revealed a strange expression. In just a day, he was here again. However, his identity was completely different this time. "Miss." When the guards saw Jian Yuding, they all bowed and greeted her. "Miss? It seems like this girl's status isn't low." Lin Xian revealed a thoughtful look. He had another reason for treating the five-colored peacock. Chapter 390. Because Jiang Yuding was a disciple of the Jiang clan, he wanted to find Jiang Sanfeng through her. Jiang Yuding nodded slightly, and then quickly pulled Lin Xian into the Jiang manor. What did I just see? The young mistress is pulling a young man in. That's impossible, I must be dreaming. The two guards panicked. Doesn't the young mistress hate those men? Why is she walking with a strange man? The guards did not know Lin Xian, so they did not know that Lin Xian had been here once. Entering the Jiang manor, Jiang Yuding led Lin Xian into the depths of the manor. Soon, the two came to an exquisite pavilion. Lin Gongzi, please come in. Jiang Yuding pushed the door open. Lin Xian chuckled and quickly walked in. However, when he entered, he was clearly stunned. Inside the room, there were pink decorations everywhere, and there was a faint fragrance in the air. This was clearly a woman's boudoir. Needless to say, this must be Jiang Yuding's room. Looks like this chick must be in a hurry to bring a stranger into her boudoir. Lin Xian looked around curiously and found that the decorations in the room were very exquisite. Although it was not luxurious, it had a simple and elegant aura. After closing the door and windows, Jiang Yuding once again summoned the five-colored peacock, and a pair of gem-like eyes stared at Lin Xian. Lin Gongzi, hurry up and save an inn! Lin Xian nodded and began to activate his sword will to save the five-colored peacock. While Lin Xian was saving the five-colored peacock, the entire Jiang manor was in a state of jubilation. At this time, the Jiang clan was holding a family meeting, and it was very lively. In addition to the dozens of branches, there were other forces in Black Feather City who came to watch. The seats were full, and the Jiang clan leader, Jiang Tianyu, looked around with joy. Good swordsmanship, this competition is much better than before. A middle-aged man laughed loudly. This man was the lord of the Eagle Fortress, Eagle Mountain. The Eagle Fortress was also an overlord in Black Feather City and had business dealings with the Jiang clan. Hee, compared to the disciples of the Eagle Fortress, these kids are still lacking a lot. Jiang Tianyu replied with a smile. At this moment, Jiang Jian was fighting in the arena. His opponent was a Greenwater Lake disciple. Jiang Jian brandished his sword, and the silver light in the sky formed dots of light that pierced into the void. In an instant, the Greenwater Lake disciple was surrounded by silver sword auras from all directions. He could only raise his defenses and was forced to resist. Boom! The silver light slashed down, piercing through the disciple's defensive barrier and sending him flying. This brat doesn't seem to be a disciple of your Greenwater Lake? Eagle Castle's castle mastering Taizhan was astonished. A main clan disciple was actually defeated by a branch disciple. Jiang clan head, your disciples aren't that great. Next to him, a red-haired man sneered. This burly man was full of energy, and his voice was burning hot. As he spoke, the surrounding air trembled. This person was from the Red Leaves aristocratic family. The Red Leaves aristocratic family and the Jiang clan were both part of the 4 aristocratic families of the Dragon Star superpower nation. At this moment, it was normal for words to provoke each other. The main clan's branch disciples are all disciples of my Jiang clan. It doesn't matter who wins or loses. Jiang Tianyu looked magnanimous. The red-haired man sneered, not believing his words at all. As a disciple of an aristocratic family, he obviously knew the difference between a branch disciple and a main clan disciple. Which branch is this young man from? Jiang Tianyu asked the person next to him. Clan head, he's a disciple of the Green Mountain City branch. Jiang Tianyu nodded. His sword technique is not bad. You can pay more attention to him. The purpose of holding the clan assembly was to find genius disciples from the various branches and nurture them to serve the clan. Therefore, any disciple who performed outstandingly in the clan assembly would be heavily nurtured by the Jiang clan. Jiangli is here. Looks like that brat is going to lose. Eagle Castle's castle master was excited. Next to him, there was an arrogant young man looking at the arena with a trace of disdain. On the arena, A young man in a white robe appeared with a green bamboo in his hand. Not bad, but you'll stop here, Jiangli said calmly. Jiang Jian held his long sword tightly with a serious expression. He could feel the pressure coming from the young man opposite him. It was stronger than Jiang Hong's aura. Another core disciple. Jiang Jian felt bitter in his heart. There were 10 core disciples in the Jiang clan. Each of them was stronger than the others. Although Jiang Hong was strong, he was only ranked 9th among the core disciples. And the person in front of him was ranked even higher. Take my strongest attack, Silver Dragon goes to the sea. Jiang Jian raised his hands and struck out his strongest attack. The starlight in the sky intertwined and formed a silver dragon that charged forward furiously. This move caused the disciples below the arena to exclaim. But Jianli just looked at the sky and smiled faintly. He waved the green bamboo cane in his hand, forming bamboo shadows that filled the sky. Ripples appeared on the surface of the jade-green light, forming a powerful impact force. With a swing of the staff, the green bamboo shadows that filled the sky hit the silver Jiao dragon and instantly dispersed it. Seeing his strongest attack being scattered, Jiang Jian's face turned pale and he couldn't help but take a few steps back. The gap between them was too big. He was no match for Jiangli. Your sword art is not bad, but your cultivation base is too low. Wait until you reach the late harmonious spirit realm, Jiangli said calmly. From the beginning to the end, he was very calm. Obviously, he didn't care about this match at all. Jiang Jian laughed bitterly. For some reason, a figure appeared in his mind. It was a handsome young man in a black robe. He held a broken sword in his hand and his aura was very sharp. If it's him, can he defeat Jiangli? Jiang Jian guessed. Shaking his head, he walked down the arena with a disappointed face. Worthy of being one of the 10 core disciples of the Green Water Lake. He defeated that person with one strike. It seems like Jiangli's cultivation base has improved a lot, the fort master of the Eagle Fort said with a smile. Lear is not bad, but he's still not as good as Xiaoxiong. Uncle Jiang, you flatter me, the young man in a black robe beside the fort master said. Although he spoke modestly, his eyes were full of pride. Uncle Jiang, why didn't you come? Xiaoxiong asked. That girl likes to run around. I don't know where she is now. Although she likes to play, she knows what's important. I think she'll be here soon. She's not young anymore. It's time for her to find a husband, the fort master said with a smile. Xiaoxiong has always liked Tinger. It'll be great if they can be together. Hearing this, Xiaoxiong's face showed a trace of excitement. The surrounding elders also had different expressions. It seemed like the Eagle Fort wanted to form a marriage alliance. However, Jiang Tianyu just smiled faintly. I don't mind, but I need Tinger's approval. Alright, Tinger is still young. I don't want her to get married so early. Let's not talk about this anymore. Let's watch the match. Jiang Tianyu changed the topic. Everyone looked at the arena again. Chapter 391. There were a lot of young talents in this family meeting. Other than Jiang Jian, Jiang Yi's performance was also outstanding. He was the most eye-catching disciple outside of the top 10 core disciples. I heard that there is a genius swordsman in Cold Wind City. Why didn't I see him in the competition? An elder was puzzled. I think Jiang Hong's condition is not very good. His attacks are fiercer than before. What's wrong with him? Many elders were puzzled. I heard that before the family meeting, there was a strange teenager who caused havoc in the Jiang mansion. He even injured a few disciples and elders. Doesn't the patriarch know? The red-haired man sneered. This was too embarrassing. Hearing this, Jiang Tianyu frowned. Is there such a thing? Soon, someone came to report. Yes, there is such a thing. That teenager was brought here by the branch of Green Mountain City, but he had a conflict with the people of Cold Wind City. That teenager was injured by a swordsman genius disciple and an elder of Cold Wind City. To be able to defeat a swordsman genius and an elder, could it be another young expert? But when did Blackfeather City have such a genius? Everyone was puzzled. What's his cultivation? Jiang Tianyu asked. That teenager's cultivation is only at the early harmonious spirit realm, but his swordsmanship is extraordinary. What? Early harmonious spirit realm? Everyone was shocked. To be able to challenge someone who was 2 small realms higher than him and win, this news was too shocking. Where is he now? Jiang Tianyu asked in a deep voice. Although he was also surprised by the teenager's combat strength, he couldn't ignore the fact that he had injured his disciples and elders in the Jiang mansion. That young man left, but at that time, young Master Jiang Hong tried to stop him, but in the end, he failed. Jiang Hong tried to stop him? Jiang Tianyu was slightly surprised. The elders' faces also changed. They knew Jiang Hong's ability. Being able to enter the top 10 core disciples was enough to prove his strength. Even so, he still couldn't stop the mysterious teenager. This made them shocked. Even Jiang Hong couldn't stop him. Interesting. Ying Xiaoxiong was slightly interested. Jiang Tianyu's face didn't look good. Nobody told him such important information. Moreover, it was the Red Leaves who said it in public. This made the Jiang family lose face. We can't just let this matter go like this. After the clan assembly, you guys post a notice to arrest this young man. Patriarch. The disciple who came to report wanted to say something but hesitated. Is there anything else? Speak, Jiang Tianyu said in a deep voice. This time, he didn't want to miss any more information. It's said that the mysterious young man fought with the disciples of Cold Wind City because of medicinal pills. Medicinal pills? Everyone was puzzled. Jiang Tianyu continued to ask. What kind of medicinal pill? Tell me clearly. It's said that the young man has a mysterious master who can concoct pills that can increase the cultivation of harmonious spirit realm. It seems that the 2 genius disciples of Qingshan City took this pill, and their cultivation base increased by a small realm. What? A pill that can increase the cultivation of the harmonious spirit realm. Everyone exclaimed in shock. Continue, Jiang Tianyu said in a deep voice. After Cold Wind City and the other branches received the news, they requested that young man to refine them. Moreover, at that time, young Master Jiang Hong also asked that young man to refine pills. However, that young man did not agree, resulting in a conflict. Jiang Hong? All the elders frowned. They knew Jiang Hong's temper very well. His words must have been very strong, otherwise the result would not have been like this. Is the information true? Jiang Tianyu asked. It should be. The people of Qingshan City are very respectful to him. Bring the elders of Qingshan City here, Jiang Tianyu said. Soon, the 3rd elder and Jiang Sihai were brought in front of everyone. Have you ever asked anyone to concoct pills that can increase the cultivation of harmonious spirit realm? Jiang Tianyu asked. The 3rd elder and Jiang Sihai's body trembled. They knew that they couldn't hide it anymore, so they had to tell everything. Everyone was very surprised, their eyes were full of passion. Is it really concocted by that young man himself? Jiang Tianyu asked again. The 3rd elder and Jiang Sihai nodded to show that they were sure. Being able to concoct such a miraculous pill at such a young age, it seems that he must have a very powerful master. The Eagle Fort Lord guessed. Send someone to find that young man now. Pay attention to your attitude and be humble. You must invite him to our Jiang family, Jiang Tianyu ordered. At the same time, the Red Leaves family and the Eagle Fort Lord also quietly sent out orders. This young man who knew how to concoct miraculous pills, if they could teach him well, it would be very beneficial to their family. Moreover, the Jiang family had just offended this young man, so the Red Leaves family had a greater chance. The red-headed man sneered. Next, the disciples of Cold Wind City and Jiang Hong were called in for questioning. The more Jiang Tianyu listened, the angrier he became. What a bunch of useless people! Such an important person was actually driven away by you. His face showed a trace of anger. It seems that I have been too lax with your discipline. Originally, this young man was brought here by Qingshan City, and his attitude towards Jiang family was not bad, but because of these arrogant and despotic disciples, he was forced to leave. The family meeting is over, all of you go and reflect on your mistakes. The disciples of Cold Wind City were so scared that they didn't dare to speak. Jiang Hong deeply lowered his head, and a trace of ruthlessness appeared in his eyes. All of you go! Jiang Tianyu waved his hand. The family meeting continued, but the people who were present didn't have the mood to watch the competition. Why hasn't Tinger come yet? Go and call her here, Jiang Tianyu said. Immediately, a disciple respectfully replied and quickly left. No need, father, I'm back, an intimate voice called out. Hearing this voice, all the elders laughed. It must be that little lass Yuding. When Ing Xiaoxiong heard this voice, he was so excited that his whole body trembled. He excitedly turned his head to look. However, when he saw Jiang Yuding, his whole person became unwell. Not only him, but even Jiang Tianyu and the others were stunned. Because beside Jiang Yuding stood an unfamiliar young man, and the two of them seemed to be very close. Everyone was puzzled. When did Yuding make such a friend? Ing Xiaoxiong's face immediately became gloomy. Everyone knew that he liked Jiang Yuding. Although Yuding didn't like him, she didn't walk too close to other young men. But today, she actually walked so close to an unfamiliar young man. Ing Xiaoxiong couldn't stand it. Who are you? How dare you stay by Yuding's side? Get lost! Ing Xiaoxiong coldly shouted. Who stays by my side? What does it have to do with you? Jiang Yuding rolled her eyes at him, then turned her head and gently said, Lin Gongzi, ignore him. Ing Xiaoxiong was so angry that his whole body trembled. Yuding had never spoken to him so gently. Chapter 392. The Eagle Fort Master's face also darkened. He coldly shouted, Xiaoxiong, sit down! Pay attention to your status. All right, don't blame Xiaoxiong. Jiang Tianyu waved his hand and then turned to ask, Tinger, who is this young master? As the clan leader, Jiang Tianyu's attitude was still considered gentle. Father, he's Lin Xian. He's my benefactor. Benefactor? Everyone was puzzled. An elder quickly said, Yuding, could it be that you've been tricked? Jiang Yuding shook her head. He's indeed my benefactor. He saved an inn. An inn was naturally the multicolored peacock. That was Jiang Yuding's treasure. An inn is injured. What happened? Tell me in detail. Jiang Tianyu walked in again. Too many things had happened in this clan assembly, and every one of them was unusual. Father, you should have heard the explosion in the south of the city, right? Hearing this, everyone was shocked. The explosion from before had indeed stunned them. However, they had investigated and found no clues. You were there at that time? Jiang Tianyu's expression changed. Hearing this, everyone looked at Jiang Yuding. Jiang Yuding stuck out her tongue and said, At that time, Anin was very anxious about that place, so I could only go and take a look. Child, why do you always ask so many questions? What if something happened to you? How am I going to explain it to your mother? Jiang Tianyu was anxious. Father, I'm fine. Jiang Yuding continued. There was a red-robed freak in that courtyard. She was the one who led us there. There was also a three-headed bird that wanted to eat Anin and the other demonic beasts. After that, Anin was injured in the battle. It was this Lin Gongzi who treated her. Yuding quickly explained the whole story. Many thanks to young hero Lin for saving Anin. This old man thanks you, Jiang Tianyu said. Senior, you're too polite. Lin Xian smiled. Seeing the change in the Jiang clan's attitude towards Lin Xian, Ing Xiaoxiong's heart burned with anger. He wanted to go up and slap him to death. Fortunately, Eagle Castle's castle master Ing Taizhan stopped him with his eyes. But Ing Xiaoxiong's sinister eyes showed that he would not let this matter rest. Good boy, you dare to fight with me over Yuding. No matter who you are, you're dead. Ing Xiaoxiong roared in his heart. Lin Xian used the great dragon sword to extinguish the purple flames in the multicolored peacock's body, and then used a pill to heal its body. After the multicolored peacock was out of danger, he followed Jiang Yuding to this place. Moreover, he already knew that Jiang Yuding was actually the daughter of Jiang Tianyu, the clan leader of the Jiang clan. Her status was even higher than he had imagined, which was very beneficial for him to find Jiang Sanfeng. Young hero Lin, where did you learn from? Your skills are so superb. This old man is truly impressed. The Eagle Fortress's fort master asked. Naturally, he wanted to find out more about Lin Xian's background. I'm just a country bumpkin. There's no need to talk about it. Lin Xian shook his head with a smile. Country bumpkin? Humph, I think you're just a country bumpkin. You cured the multicolored peacock with just luck. Do you think you can win Yuding's heart? Ing Shaoxiong snorted coldly. There were also some elders in the Jiang clan who looked at Lin Xian with gloomy expressions. They originally supported Ing Shaoxiong, and Lin Xian's appearance made them very uncomfortable. Young hero Lin has helped us. Why don't we let him go to the treasury to get some spiritual stones? We, the Jiang family, as one of the major forces in Blackfeather City, can't afford to offend them, a thin elder said. His name was Jiangda, and he was very supportive of the marriage between the Jiang clan and the Eagle Fortress. Therefore, he was hostile to anyone who approached Jiang Yuding. Father, I invited him to watch the clan's competition. What should I do if you do this? Jiang Yuding said coquettishly. All right. Young hero Lin, please take a seat. Jiang Tianyu had no choice but to agree to his daughter's request. Sir, please don't. We invited all the famous clans here. He's just a country bumpkin. How can he sit with these people? Jiangda objected. Lin Xian frowned slightly. This old man had repeatedly jumped out to stop him, and he was very disgusted. I'm afraid it has something to do with the Eagle Fortress. Lin Xian's soul was very strong. He could sense the expressions of these people, and he knew what the Eagle Fortress and the elders were thinking. Since someone doesn't welcome me, I think we should forget about it. Yuding, I'll take my leave first. Lin Xian smiled and shrugged. Yuding is not for you to call her that. Ing Shaoxiong's eyes were burning with anger. He wanted to kill Lin Xian. Men, give young hero Lin 3,000 mid-grade spiritual stones. Elder Jiangda shouted. No need. Lin Xian coldly refused. I thought the Jiang clan was a famous clan, but now it seems that they are so narrow-minded. What a joke. What did you say? Jiangda was anxious. Brat, don't think that you can be so presumptuous here just because you saved the 5-colored peacock. Suddenly, a huge pressure pressed down on Lin Xian. Is this how the Jiang clan treats their guests? Lin Xian smiled, not fearing the huge pressure at all. Father! Jiang Yuding anxiously shouted. All right, everyone stop! Jiang Tianyu coldly shouted, suppressing everyone. I know what you guys are thinking, but young hero Lin did save Anan. What's wrong with sitting down and watching the competition? Everyone was silent. Jiangda sinisterly said. Since the sir has spoken, then young hero Lin should sit down. After saying that, he pointed to the seat at the end of the hall. It was very remote, and could not even be called a seat. Lin Xian's face darkened. This old man was obviously making things difficult for him, and he wanted him to back off. I didn't come here to be bullied. You want me to sit in that place? Lin Xian was so angry that he laughed. Brat, who do you think you are? Letting you sit there is already giving you face. Ing Shaoxiong coldly snorted. Is there no one else in the Jiang clan? Letting an outsider shout here? Lin Xian sneered. The elders' hearts tightened. They supported the Eagle Fortress, so they did not feel that Ing Shaoxiong's actions were inappropriate. However, in the eyes of outsiders, it was extremely inappropriate. This was the Jiang residence, and it was the Jiang clan's clan assembly. It was indeed inappropriate for Ing Shaoxiong to shout repeatedly. Hee, there is indeed no one in the Jiang clan. On the side, the red-haired man sneered. Shaoxiong, shut up! Ing Taizhan coldly shouted. Brat, you are courting death. After you leave the Jiang clan, let's see if you can still be so arrogant. Ing Shaoxiong threatened. Jiang De also changed the topic. If you don't want to sit there, where do you want to sit? We're all big shots here, and we're all famous people. Do you think there is a place for you here? Letting you sit there is already very polite. I will not sit there. If I want to sit, I will sit here. After saying that, Lin Xian pointed to Jiang Da's seat. Brat, you dare! Elder Jiang Da was so angry that he jumped. Chapter 393. Jiang Tianyu also frowned slightly, but he still said in a deep voice, Young hero Lin, why don't you go down to the guest seats? The Jiang clan disciples are all there. Maybe you can make some friends. Lin Gongzi, it's boring to sit here. Why don't we go down and play? Jiang Yuding tugged on Lin Xian's sleeve and said. This scene made Ing Shaoxiong's eyes even gloomier. All right, then let's go down and sit. Lin Xian smiled. Then, he turned to the elder and said, For the sake of clan leader Yuding, I'll go down to the guest seats. However, I think you'll invite me up very soon. I hope you can still be so insistent. After saying that, Lin Xian turned and walked down to the young disciples' seats. Looking at Lin Xian's back, many elders showed disdain. Elder Jiang De sneered. You want to come back? You're dreaming. Men! Go and find out who he is and what his motive is for approaching Mississippi. Immediately, 2 disciples left quickly. When Lin Xian was on the guest seats, he had already attracted everyone's attention. However, his back was facing the crowd, so they didn't recognize him at all. When he walked to the disciples' seats, many people exclaimed softly. Among them, the most surprised were the branch disciples from Green Mountain City and Cold Wind City. They looked at Lin Xian as if they had seen a ghost. It had only been a day, and Lin Xian was back. Moreover, he seemed to have hooked up with Miss Jiang. When Jiang Hong saw this, he was so shocked that he stood up. His body trembled slightly, and he didn't know what to say. Brat, you dare to come back! Jiang Hong's tone was cold. Why? You know each other? Jiang Yuding was confused. Yuding, why are you with him? Jiang Hong's voice was filled with confusion. The other disciples also came and went. Among them, a few core disciples saw this scene and frowned. Scram! A good dog doesn't block the way, Lin Xian said to Jiang Hong, who was in the middle. The surrounding disciples were in an uproar. Jiang Hong was one of the core disciples, and his strength was frightening. Now, there was actually someone who dared to reprimand him in public. This caused many people to have a surreal feeling. Those core disciples also looked over. Jiang Hong's bad temper was well known among them. Now that he was being ridiculed like this, he would definitely explode on the spot. Who is this brat? How dare he speak like that? Isn't he afraid that Jiang Hong will kill him with a single palm strike? I don't know, but given how arrogant he is, even if he were to be beaten to death, it wouldn't matter, right? Those disciples were all in the mood of watching a show. Brat, you're courting death! Jiang Hong's face flushed red when he heard this. A layer of purple ripples appeared on his body, spinning rapidly. Every time it spun, a terrifying aura would leak out. You dare to make a move? Lin Xian looked at him with a smile that was not a smile. There was no fear on his face. The exchange earlier made him understand Jiang Hong's strength like the back of his hand. Although Jiang Hong was very powerful in the eyes of others, it was not difficult for him to deal with him. Looking at that smiling face, Jiang Hong's body trembled, but he did not make a move immediately. Firstly, he had exchanged blows with Lin Xian and did not gain any advantage. Moreover, Lin Xian could refine miraculous pills. His identity was very special. If it was exposed, the entire Jiang family would definitely treat him like a distinguished guest. If he made a move at this time, the family would definitely punish him. Thinking of the patriarch's furious look, Jiang Hong unconsciously shuddered. I'm warning you, you better stay away from Yuding. Jiang Hong's tone was cold. However, he did not make a move in the end. Humph! With a cold snort, Jiang Hong sat down angrily and no longer looked at Lin Xian. Everyone was stunned, and then rubbed their eyes hard. This result was something they never expected. No way, I didn't see wrongly. That brat Jiang Hong actually didn't make a move. A short-haired court disciple opened his mouth wide. Beside him, several other court disciples were also frowning. This matter is too illogical. There must be a demon behind this abnormality. Who is this brat? Not only can he walk together with Yuding, but he can also suppress Jiang Hong. Just as everyone was shocked on the rostrum, the two disciples who investigated Lin Xian also returned with panicked expressions. Elder, it's not good! The two of them cried out. What's the matter? Why are you in such a panic? Does that brat really have a background? Jiang De frowned. Everyone also turned their heads to look. They were also very curious about Lin Xian's identity. That brat is the alchemist who injured the Cold Wind City's disciples. What? Everyone was stunned. Jiang Tianyu furrowed his brows. He never would have thought that the person who was with his daughter was the mysterious alchemist she had always wanted to find. The Eagle Fort's fort master, Yin Taizan, had a gloomy face. He originally wanted to secretly find that alchemist and establish a good relationship with him. Now it seemed that it was impossible. Father, what should we do? I didn't know that brat was an alchemist, Ing Xiaoxiong said in exasperation. Forget it, it's too late to regret now. The Eagle Fort's fort master said in a deep voice. Now we can only try our best to rope him in. Jiang Dao's face was gloomy and uncertain. Thinking back to what Lin Xian said before he left, his face became very ugly. If Lin Xian didn't have any status, what he said would be a joke. But now, Lin Xian's identity turned out to be an alchemist that everyone wanted to rope in. Now, everyone would definitely welcome him with a smile. Thinking that he would give up his seat to a brat, Jiang De had the urge to kill himself by banging his head on tofu. What are you waiting for? Hurry up and invite young hero Lin back. Jiang Tianyu shouted coldly. Immediately, the two deacons moved quickly and rushed to the guest seats. In the guest seats, those people were still looking at Lin Xian in surprise. At this time, two middle-aged deacons walked over from afar with a trace of nervousness between their brows. It seemed that they were coming for Lin Xian. This kid didn't do anything wrong, did he? Even the deacons were alerted. The few core disciples were puzzled again. Jiang Hong's eyes flashed. He knew that the elders in the family must have known about Lin Xian's identity and were here to invite him. The two deacons came in front of Lin Xian and were very polite. Lin Gongzi, the patriarch invites you to the main guest seat. What? Everyone was stunned, as if there was something wrong with their ears. The main guest seat was a place where only the elders of the family and the leaders of Blackfeather City could sit. An unknown kid was going to such a place, and was personally invited by the patriarch. Who is this kid? These people were not fools. To be able to sit at the main guest seat, he must be of high status. No wonder Jiang Hong didn't dare to do anything. He already knew. Everyone suddenly realized. It can't be. Father is really inviting you? Jian Yuding also had a look of surprise on her face. She stared at Lin Xian with her large, gem-like eyes. Under the envious gaze of the crowd, Lin Xian walked to the main guest seat. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.